Making Dylan heat drum.
Wow, are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, where we talk about life, we give advice, we talk about conspiracies, men's mental health, which is today's episode. Oh my God, it's been a while.
It's been a minute since we've sent any shares.
Yes, it has been a minute. So for people that don't know, when we record podcasts, we usually record a couple at a time to, save time, be efficient. That's something that you have taught me.
Yeah.
Before I met Dylan, I was not efficient. Would you say that as a true statement?
Yeah, I mean, Morkovich would determine that was not a lie.
Okay. Yeah. Except for, determining that's not a lie. I'm not one of those women that just, which honestly, I told you. Or I'll talk about the ones that cry and they take off running in the back. Which, if there's a chance. How do they get people for that show? I was always curious how they got people for Maury, and especially Jerry Springer.
I think they paid them. I think a lot of that was theatrics. Like, I don't think it was all legitimately 100% real. But then there's also the people that would just be like, I need to be on Springer. Why we go? Why are we going?
That's what I'm saying. How is the other spouse not like, baby, why are we going on Springer tomorrow? It's just like,
oh, well, this is going to be the episode for the most romantic backyard trailer wedding.
They had to do that because it was always some crazy shit. Like, he'd go into his wife and be like, hey, babe, why are we going to Jerry Springer tomorrow? And she'll be like, because I got something important to tell you. I'm not actually a woman's. And then he's like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, that explains the dick and balls. And it's always all some crazy shit. And then be like, well, also, too, I've been having sex with your brother. They got so many stories backed up that it's preposterous.
Well, that was where I first learned about the whole, big girl and, little guy, that combo. That was always on Jerry Springer, where it was, a big girl.
When you saw a flopper sitting down in that chair, he was like some skinny man that's about to come out from the backstage.
Not just one, three of them. Yeah. They're going to fight each other,
God, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, how fucking good were they?
They're going to, run around her, can't catch up, ring around the rosy, trying to get to it.
Right. So, back to the original. So, Mike's not efficient, so what we do is we'll record a couple of these at a time. Well, Dylan went on vacation.
Yeah, I mean, technically it was a vacation, but more so it was a reunion, and it was just an excuse to go do something because we haven't taken the kids to the beach or anything for years. So
right.
It's like we should at least go do something this summer before.
And he is referring to Lake Erie as a beach, which everybody in Ohio does too. So
it is I would say some of those beaches up there are substantially better than.
It's crazy you go there, especially in Ohio, and you can just boat across to Canada.
30 miles,
That's wild. And just fucking all of a sudden you're a maple syrup drinking moose rider. I like to come up with slurs for the countries. Canada ain't really got slurs, and they need them.
But really, they maple syrup everywhere.
Yeah, but you think about Canada when you think about maple syrup.
Canadians to claim it, but I mean,
I think if you say anything with enough anger, though, it kind of turns the maple syrup drinking moose rider.
Yeah, but that's not a slur to me. That's that's a pride thing. When I don't think I've told it on this podcast, but when one of my buddies that I went up and saw for his 7th birthday, we went around. His birthday's in March, and that's maple syrup time.
Friends with 7-year-old?
When I was 7.
Oh, okay. That's okay. One of my buddies whose 7th birthday.
Yeah, for his 7th birthday party, we went around and collected sap. You take you drill a hole in the tree, put the little tap in there, and then you hang a bucket on there. And then every day you go by and dump the buckets. You get a gallon bucket of sap, and then you take that and you boil it down and make it into syrup. But
you get to keep syrup.
I didn't get to keep the syrup. I got syrup sometimes, but the point that I was getting to was that the sap is basically just like water, but when you drink it, it's like maple water.
Yeah,
and so that's what I was doing for a birthday party at 7. So, maple syrup is big anywhere up north where it gets really cold at night and then warms up during the day, and sap runs when you get to drink maple syrup water.
So, a couple trains of thought. This is Mike and Dylan Hate Drama. We're going to get onto the subject in a minute, okay?
No, we aren't.
For the new people, that's Jesus
It's a 50-minute intro.
I clicked on this to feel better about myself. You will, okay? We will cure your...
You're going to feel better because you aren't like us.
Right, yeah. You're going to be like, Jesus. At least I can keep a train of thought. But while you were telling that story, it did start off with you saying, well, I would take that as a sense of pride. I thought you were going to go into like some story about like when people call me crackers. I'm like, I'm a crack. I was like, oh, I thought that was going to a different place. I was like, maybe steer clear of the big racism. And then the second train of thought was the story that one guy told. He's black, and for a field trip, they went to go pick cotton, and it was a bunch of black kids.
Yeah, that might be a little.
And then the place kept the cotton too, which makes it double like that. That really
I don't even get to keep the cotton.
right. That really set in the racism. Like if you got white schools, black schools, a mixture school coming in. Picking the cotton and they get to keep it. I feel pretty good about that story overall. I'm like, oh, it's a good learning lesson, I guess. If it's an all black school and then you get to keep, you don't even let them have the cotton, then and the fucking part where he was,
Did they teach them songs to sing while they were doing it too?
that would be fun. Yeah, and you want to use a deep bass in your when you're singing the songs and they're doing that, and then the guy who
Did we
owns
just make that even more racist?
yeah, fuck yeah. But look,
One thing that I noticed while I was up there, though, is like because some of our listeners have commented on me being a damn Yankee and all that stuff. And the thing that I really realized, though, is it doesn't matter where you're from, north, south, anything like that. It's the thing that people really are trying to talk about is city people versus country people.
correct.
Because like everywhere that I went, it was like it's country. It's just like small town folk, and so like it doesn't matter whether I'm from New York or fucking California for that matter. Because it's more so if you're like somebody who knows what it's like to be a normal person, or somebody that's like all pretentious and like it's not no shit talking against people that have like a normal office job. But if you have the mentality of like a city person that like thinks like milk comes from a factory and like doesn't understand that like a cow has to die for you to eat beef, those are the people that are the problem. That when they're talking about like Yankees and stuff like that. It's like people from New York City that have never seen a fucking blade of grass that isn't in a park.
Right, go to Charlotte, and I mean, it does.
Yes.
It feels like every single big city that you go to. Now, I did in-home delivery, and I went to Detroit. That's the only place where I'm like, I bet people who work in Detroit, they have a good sense of how people live, because you literally got to go through a third world country to get to Detroit. I was driving through and I was just like, wow, because it was
there like some sort of like catastrophe that happened? No, that's just.
It was 2011 after the tornado outbreak. So we went through, like Alabama and Mississippi and all that stuff. Or it might not have been Mississippi, but Tennessee. There we go. My geography is wildly inaccurate. So it was Alabama and Tennessee. And they were fucked up. Like there was some places in Alabama that you could just, when we got out of the truck, we just looked and it's just like flat. Mm-hmm. And we literally pulled up to a house that was not it was half of a house. This one, they were not like everybody else. One half of the house built real well. The other half not built so well. And he was just like, yeah, we can't take that right now.
Yeah, we ordered it, but there was this thing that happened, and we can't really know where to put it that it's going to be safe. So maybe just take that back and click it.
So the guy I used to do in-home deliveries with, he's my sister-in-law's father, my middle brother, his wife, her dad. And he's just like, oh, I understand the other guy's like real polite about it too. And then they get in the car and straight going down the road, proceed to talk so much shit about this guy. Like, now we're going to have to go around that fucking thing every time, that big ass fucking couch, every time, because it was one of the couches that also had like they eject out like a fucking recliner. Yeah, recliner couches. So it was big.
I thought you were looking for like a sofa bed or something like that. But you're just talking about a fucking recliner.
It was big though. It was a pretty big recliner. I know when we were like, I'm not an expert on furniture because what's funny is I did it for like 3 or 4 months, and then when I got with Amy, I did it again for like 3 or 4 months. So all in all, I got like 6 to 8 months of experience in all delivery.
You apply for one of those jobs.
I need to. But I know the feeling when you pick up a couch is a lot different than when you pick up a couch that's full of metal. Because one, you just be like, fuck, I'm strong. When I started doing it, I was like, bro, this is going to be easy too, because, I'm a big guy. Like, furniture don't weigh shit. The first 2 deliveries we did, fucking easy. One was like a table and chairs, and then, one's a sofa. And I'm like, yeah. And then I grabbed one of those sofas with the recliner things in it. and was like, Jesus Christ, I hope we ain't got another one of those. And they're like, oh, it's like the most popular
Yeah,
thing.
that's everybody.
And I was like, Jesus.
Well, that's the crazy thing is even worse than those is the ones that are very popular now are the ones with the electronics in there. That was the recliner. Yeah, those ones are so much heavier.
If you do not imagine that you're Darth Vader rising up, like when you do the ones that like rise all the way to your feet, yeah. And you're just like slowly going up. If you don't imagine that you're Darth Vader, I just don't think you're really human. So.
It should have like theme songs that you can play while it's doing it. Like,
So today's topic is, men's mental health and getting a break from your job because, brother, I don't know if you know this, vacations, no matter how great and long, do not feel like they are long enough.
well, not with this one here. We left out on we left on Tuesday. No, we left Wednesday. I finished everything up for this on Tuesday. Left out Wednesday at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Got to New York about 4 p.m. And then from there, it was just like running the whole time until Sunday morning. Left back out at 7 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, no matter how long I, as a poor person, don't know what it's like to go on vacation where you're like, yeah, I'm ready to get back home. Like,
I'm ready to get back to work. And then I remember, I think I was around 23. I had energy, good, bad, good news. I was prime. It's so funny you hear, old people say, man, you'll long for the days you felt like this. And you're like, shut the fuck up. And you're like, fuck, back when I was 12, I felt nothing. I would feel refreshed. And then I would go back immediately into a 110-degree factory and work for 12 hours and be like, shit, I gotta do this every day? Fuck me. It's always the worst. And I feel like as, especially guys, because we tend to have the harder jobs. I'm not sitting here saying
physically,
yeah, physically.
And sometimes mentally, but yeah, not emotionally. Like that's the thing is we're two different types of animals. Like women deal with a lot more of the emotional side of work, like working in.
We don't have to gay this up and include women in our conversations, okay? We can let one of the women podcasters talk about women's struggles, all right? I'm talking about...
We have a request from somebody that wanted to talk about the subjugation and fetishization of Asian and Black people. And they want to be our guest on our...
Is that a thing?
And they want to be on our show. And I was like,
what? They want to be... Wait.
Yeah, they're like, they'd be a perfect person.
The fetishization of Black women and Asian women.
Yeah.
Well, one, weeps, all right? That's why Asian women, I mean, if there's a guy, he's got a neck beard and watches anime, his dream wife is a Asian woman.
Well, I think really with anything, I mean, and this is what I always talk to my wife and daughter about, is like, it's whatever, like, isn't your thing. Like, so if a woman has like straight hair, they want curly hair. If they've got like big boobs, they want little boobs, and like vice versa. But like, I think with guys, like if you have been surrounded by a bunch of white women, you like different other ethnicities as like that's the one that's out of the ordinary. But with, like if you grew up in a Black neighborhood and most of the women that you dated were Black, you would then want a Latina woman or an Asian woman or something like that. And so like I do understand like where fetishes.
I would rather, like, imagine how niche that is. Like, we'll get all the people in our base. I'm sorry, we're like a lot of us are, blue collar guys, and then women. Just I don't know what the demographic of the women are. We look at the demographics to see who likes us. We just kind of do our own thing. It's like a podcast.
I think it'd be more telling to see the people that have turned us off. That would be like.
right. Life together.
Those people.
Life together. Have a good financial strategy for aging. And
we're not for you.
No, it was like we get a lot of people been diagnosed with bipolar. That's a good commonality between everybody. Yeah, got a little bit of the tism, a lot of the ADHD. Like they're able to keep up with the rapid fire changing of the
because
podcast.
We're 3 or 4 subjects away from where we start this topic.
I always, man, we sit here and I'm like, this is something I would like to talk about. Like as soon as we sit down and talk, I'm like, fuck, I'm talking with my friends, so now I want to talk like I'm talking with my friend, and we just get all over the place.
I think at some point we're probably gonna get to the point where we'll have like bullet points of like, this is the conversation we're gonna have, and we're just not there yet. We're not there yet.
I think here's the thing. I don't think this podcast necessarily needs a direction. I think a direction is good for appealing to people. Like if you're like, oh, I want to appeal to true crime people, or I like true crime, which I think you're gay if you do that. Okay, look, the only reason true crime people do true crime is to make money. Nobody's doing it for, look, I'm saying, nobody's doing it for the victim. No one's, because that's always their like rebuttal is that they're doing it for the victim. But imagine
they're doing it for entertainment, and like honestly, it's kind of like cigarette sales or something. Like yes, the cigarette companies are evil, but there's a fucking market for it. And like with the true crime, especially women, but like they love the fuck out of the stories.
Look,
and
we
so
could just sell out. Why don't we do that? We could start like this real true crime podcast, okay? And then only people from Mike and Dylan Hate Drama know that we started that just to make money off of women. And in that too, we could preach about, how that would be really good, because then we could preach about like how, strong women are and how they deserve so much. We could talk about pay gap and all that stuff, and how you need to really respect a woman's feelings and just come out like that. And then on this, we'll be like, yeah, in the last episode, we were talking about fucking, ooh, look at the pay gap. And bro, they were eating it up, all commenting.
I was listening to the bonus episode on the way in because I finally figured out how to get it onto Patreon. I don't know if this is the way it's going to end up at the end of it, but like I got it on there. So I was listening to it just to see how it plays out. And then you had brought up like when your wife,
I got to cut my shorts. Keep talking.
When your wife has been like sweating and walking around for like 2 hours or 2 miles, and you're like, ooh, marination, and like, let me taste that flavor, and like, just thinking like that playing after your, because like I mean, in all those topics, we do feel that way about like women, pay gap, sure, yeah, like equal, but yeah, also like like to eat some eat at the
like we're guys, yeah, we're gonna fucking
eat at the Y after she took a 2 mile jog.
Were we talking about something really sympathetic before?
Well, you had just mentioned like doing the true crime thing, talking about all the super lefty
subjects.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's good though.
Catering.
Because,
Or
look,
is it pandering?
that's what I hate. Yeah, people just pander too fucking much, and I wish we could really get our pandering on. Because fuck, like,
Monday.
yeah. Me and Dylan's like, we don't ever pander, we stick to our guns, and then
But we're
so poor. Yeah, so poor. But
maybe that's why people pander.
what's really funny too is we're actually in the process of starting a horror YouTube channel. And that's just because I like to write little stories and shit like that.
Is this DJ Khaled?
Yeah.
Another one, because like we started with Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, and then it's like another one. Two daddies showed the bed.
Well, this is not a
Another
podcast.
one. I mean, it's not a podcast, but it is a story-based, long-form. So it will be on the podcast platforms.
We were like, we need something that makes money, and look, Dylan's really good at just coming up with the ideas.
I just find them. I stumble across them, and it's like serendipitous.
Because he was like, hey, what if we did like, he was like, I was looking at this fucking faceless YouTube channel that told scary stories, and he was like, if we did that, and I was just like, oh, we could, because I like to write my own little scary stories. So it's going to have a scary story with it, with a poem. I'll let y'all guys know the name of the YouTube channel next week, because we have not. I assume by the 1 or 2 podcasts from now, it should be up.
I think that one's pretty interesting because we can do the videos on YouTube, and then I see it as a podcast, as just like, we're not going to post the videos. We're just going to do audio only podcasting, so that people can listen to it back to back to back to back as like a podcast.
What?
The scary stories.
Scary stories, man. That's more, like I said, more targeted towards teens stuff. I don't want people of, I don't want people going in thinking they're about to watch the epitome of fucking.
Yeah, it's going to be the audio only versions are going to go onto the podcast, just because like why not?
Oh, okay.
That's literally where all these.
Do you think anybody would listen to it?
That's where I found it.
Oh.
The originals that like I came, like I was looking at podcasts on Spotify just to like find something else to listen to, because I always listen to those super educational ones like Andrew Huberman, the Huberman Lab podcast, like stuff like that. And so when I was looking for the next thing that I wanted to listen to, one was like scary stories, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, what's it about? And I looked at it, and it's got like 41,000 reviews, and tons of episodes. And then from there, I went to Linktree and then found the rest of the stuff. And so then they've got their YouTube channel, but then they have, you know, Instagram and TikTok and all the rest of the stuff where they.
So essentially what we're going to be doing on this one is I am going to write a scary story, and then I will be doing a little, like a poem to end the episode. And they're going to be quick, 10-minute long. Well, what's good about it too is I'm speaking in a spooky voice. Mike loves to do voices. You know this. And
They know this.
well, yeah, they know this. And I think that doing it that way, because you can ask Dylan, look, my stories might not be completely original, especially if I come up with one just like right off the top of the head.
I don't know if you know this, but no story is completely original.
Right, yeah. So, but I am able to come up with like unique stories, and I feel like this is something that does really hit upon, like, it's like all levels of Mike in this. Like, I could fucking, coming up with, you know, just goofy, fantastical stories, except for now it involves a lot of death and dying. Easy transition for me. So I did enjoy the idea of this, and it is a thing, man. Just like young people really love these fucking horror stories, and it's, I would say some true crime people like it too. So it's kind of tapping into both markets, and I don't have to sell out, talk about somebody's, you know, 5-year-old daughter getting brutally murdered, to which I am going to go into excruciating detail. I hope you ain't the father.
Come in next month.
Yeah.
Like the true crime podcast.
Mike and Dylan love true crime. Watch it now on Spotify.
But yeah, I think ultimately that goes back to like the situation where this whole started with, is like taking time off of work and all that stuff. Is, you know, we kind of do have a creative outlet where we get to do this cool stuff, but we still have to like provide for our families. So we end up working crazy hours doing all this and trying to figure out.
It's so much flip flopping too, because when you have these ideas, especially non-niched ideas, Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, the podcast, is not niched. Two Daddies Judge Baddies is niched, but I don't think people know what we do just from the name. Two Daddies Judge Baddies. You could stumble upon that podcast and be like, that has something to do with, you talk about women's asses.
Oh wait, no, I when you launched the name, when you said it to me, I was like, is this like an OnlyFans like review?
Yeah, you should have been like, hey Turd, how about,
no, I didn't.
You know, Mike and Dylan love Reddit or
And
something.
you're like, you love it, right?
Can we change the name to a podcast?
Yeah.
We can?
Yeah.
I think we do need to change it though, because Two Daddies Judge a Baddies, like, I don't know if anybody associates that with Reddit.
See, we're gonna end up changing the name of that podcast like 42 times, because you're gonna be like, you know what? Like, we changed it the first time, and like, I think I got a better one, and so we're just gonna keep changing it.
I don't think we're going to change it. I think we should just.
I think it is everybody that I told the name to, that I've like spoken to, anybody that's been honest with me, they're like, oh, are you like judging women? Like, what is this? And like, two daddies, are you like, is this like a sexual like cut? No, it's just reading Reddit stories.
How the fuck do we tell everybody we changed our name though?
Nobody gives a fuck, dude.
Do you think so?
Nobody gives a fuck.
All right, so I think we just change it to Mike and Dylan Love Reddit, because then
It's Mike and Dylan.
Mike and Dylan Hate Drama is a lot
And
easier.
then anytime somebody types in Mike and Dylan, they're like, oh my god, I found another one.
And then once we come up with our eventual third podcast, Mike and Dylan Love Horror or whatever, Mike and Dylan like love movies, Mike and Dylan Hate This, then we can.
42 podcasts in.
I do enjoy this one being more of like a.
Can we get another Mike and another Dylan and like keep the enterprise? Like,
holy fuck, like Smosh, but no one's named Smosh. It's just named Smosh, and we just have Mike and Dylan. Yeah, and it's just always, we could have an Asian Mike and Dylan, black Mike and Dylan. We could
Don't
interchange
fetishize
Mike and
it.
Dylan.
Do not fetishize.
I'm fetishizing it. Fetishing
Fettuccine
it.
Alfredo.
How do fetishes start? Look, I'm sorry, guys, and your mental health. It's not going to get solved in this podcast. The best part is
all a ruse.
Yeah, it was a ruse to get you here. Now all of you people who are here like, oh fuck, I'm so depressed. You're gonna have to stay depressed and then question how fetishes are made. But how do people fetishize stuff?
I think in normal thing, like fetish is such a strong word. Like I think there are people that really have like weird fucking kinks and fetishes, but I think being attracted to certain things isn't really a fetish.
We're really thinking about it though, like boobs and ass. Okay, I don't know if it took years of like us pointing out those things, because if you remember, there's an early 2000s movie. I don't know what it is. I wish if somebody knows, if you know the name of this, look, comment down. You know,
I might know it.
what the name of the movie is, but it's a guy, he's sitting there like reading a newspaper or something like that, and a girl's washing dishes, and he looks over at her ass and he's like, that is a genetically superior ass, and she does not have one. at all. There is no ass there. And I remember girls would, that used to be a thing. Is my butt too big? Now you want a fatty, bro.
Oh, and like it's so crazy though, because like I mean, I am of the mindset that like it has to at least look like it's possible that it could be natural. Like it can't just be like
Yeah, we're not talking about like BBLs.
But that's like I've seen so many women with like this fucking like shelf of and I'm like that who?
Do you know who Mewtwo is from Pokemon?
No.
That's what they call it, because you know that it's fake if they got the Mewtwo. Look, I'm gonna pull up my phone real quick so I can show you Mewtwo. I wish Jamie pull it up. That would be so dope.
Scott.
Yeah,
Scott listened to all these episodes on his way up to Michigan, and he keeps
What, Mike and Dylan drama or Two Daddies?
Two Daddies mostly, but
Let me find a real good. I'm just gonna get on the images so I can scroll through the Mewtwo photos, but Mewtwo hips, man.
oh jeez.
Yeah, that's the BBL look right there. You know it's fake if they're rocking that shit right there. If you don't know who Mewtwo is, listener, then yeah, look it up and laugh along. I just have this wide variety of knowledge about all these different things that.
Yeah, I mean it's Pokemon, dude. You're very in.
Like I can't start a Pokemon podcast. That's what sucks so bad too. Is a lot of like my hobbies, what people start podcasts off of, things that they really love. I can't be on there because trading card games, Pokemon, all this is advertised to children. And then they get on there and I'll be like, goddamn, they're trying to bring us all fucking down. And it's like, how did Mike get on this? He was talking about Team Rocket and their plans of stealing Pokemon. And then he somehow got onto the government, and we don't know how this has happened, but it's just like some 10-year-old just sitting there just like, and then if listening, and his mom walks in and all she hears on the radio is, if she's ran a mile, that's seasoning to me, because I can't stop myself from talking about these things.
The only 18 plus Pokemon podcast.
Right, yeah, just
that's my niche.
If you guys want to hear 5 minutes of Pokemon, which is usually during the intro, and then an hour and 25 minutes.
5 minutes of like leaning into like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about, and then never back to that ever again.
Yeah, I feel so bad because I was like mental health and going on vacation and stuff like, but look, I get it.
When was the last vacation you took?
2 years ago, I went to the beach. And what's so funny too is when I go on vacation, my wife will have like a list of things she wants to do. And I'm like, lame. That is lame. Everything you've mentioned is lame. These are the things I want to do. And then what's so funny is like,
what
I'll do
things you want to do.
I don't really know, like go to this go-kart place. So we go to the go-kart place, the thing I want to do. And it's just, it's in a popular town. So they're like, you $30, you get to ride the go-kart around the track twice. 10 minutes fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife is just like, I've planned things out to where it is free things you can do all day. And so we finally start doing the things she wants to do at the end of the vacation. Because I got all these things, and normally she controls the vacation. So I was like, I'm going to take over on this one. She's like, all right. And then we do the thing she wants to do, and it's wildly more fun. And I'm like, oh, this is how memories are made. And
well, it was fun going around the course twice, right?
Yeah, we went up, and then we went down, and then we went around, and then we went up and went down, and memories.
That was $30 or $150 to get the whole family to shoot it. No, that's I'm very much similar to your wife. Like I'm so cheap that and I know that if you just don't
it'll be an easy transition when we divorce our wives. Then
I'll just take over her spot.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But when we went up to New York, we went to 4 different beaches. Didn't cost a dime. We went out to eat a couple places. Eating near the beach, terrible. Just because it's here's this basic ass sandwich for $15 that you should only be spending about $7.
I thought you were talking about a picnic, bro. Picnics are never fun. Picnics are. The weather feels way worse than I thought it would in my mind, and I can find no comfortable position on the ground.
Well, I don't like picnics just because it's hey, get all this food ready to then take it somewhere else to go sit and eat it. Why not just fucking
and guard it from the elements?
Just make it and eat it. And then go do the thing, go do something. But making this whole thing to then go take it somewhere and be oh, here's your soggy sandwich and your fucking chips that blew across the ground. No.
I used to love, because you said soggy sandwich, I used to love the, what is it called from Subway? It's chicken, and it's got a sweet teriyaki chicken.
Yeah.
I like the teriyaki chicken subs. So I got one for lunch for work, and I get to work at 7 at night, and I have lunch around 11, which is dinner for me. So I put it in the fridge and then I get it out and I'm eating it and it's just mushy. And I'm like, well, this is the only thing I'm gonna have to eat tonight unless I want to get something from like a vending machine because this is before we had the whole restaurant convenience store in the canteen before we had all that in there. So I powered through this sub and since then I've never been able to eat one of those subs again. And then when I think about it, my stomach just like, because I felt so sickly going back to the machine too after just powering through it because the bread just melted in my mouth. And look, sandwiches is something like when you hear that term, they always use it for good things like melts in your mouth. But if bread and all, it's just it's just was not a good texture.
Yeah, when we did pack sandwiches for the trip up, I told the girls, I was like, you guys get one meal on this trip. Like, if you want breakfast, we can get breakfast. If you want lunch, you can have lunch. If you want dinner, we can have dinner. But like, we're making this in one like stopping for eating. We're not gonna like drag this out 3 stops and spend $150 worth of food up there. No.
How many times did you guys stop on the way up there?
I think 3.
That's not bad. How long was it?
9 hours.
Yeah.
Well, especially because, the 4-year-old, she did good. She did real good. And then she's like, my butt hurts. And I'm like, all right, we'll get out and walk around. Like, I'm cool. I can just move.
She's just like strapped down.
Yeah, she's like locked in and she's like, and I think she was really saying like her stomach hurt more so. Like, I think it was, just bottom region of being uncomfortable. But she was saying her stomach hurt for a lot of it. And so we get out but the bad thing is, like when a kid says that, like they mean like right fucking now. Like pull your ass over, not wait for the next exit. But and so like I'm like, babe, we're going through like West Virginia. There is nowhere for me to stop.
That's what sucks. Nowhere. That's what sucks with having an autistic kid because he doesn't understand. I'll be like, yeah, give me 1 second. I fucking said now, son. You thought I'm saying he colored eggs because he wants this one show or this one little ASMR thing that has colored eggs on it. And he'd be like, colored eggs? And I'd be like, after dinner or something like that, or give me 5 minutes. Colored eggs. He's like, you stupid fat boy. Like I fucking said it now. So today that brings up a little funny thing. So school started and we have the pickup line. So what they want you to do is they want you to put your child in the car seat and then drive up to a point where there's like no cars where you can like pull in and then buckle them up there. And what I'll do, is I'll put my child in the car and then I'll buckle my child up right there. And I understand I'm holding the line up for a good 20 seconds longer than it should be. And if I was a parent, if I was a teacher, I would understand I want to get this line through quickly. But also if I know that parents like understand the procedure and then still choose to buckle their children up, I would be like, okay, it's a little kid. And but this lady was like, if she'd have been like, hey, can you, and like did it in a polite way, I would not have been so brash about it. But she was like, you need to drive up there to buckle up your child. And I was like, you want me to drive my autistic child? You want me to put him in his car seat and then ride up there without him buckled up? That's what you want me to do? Because that ain't gonna happen. And she like fucking like did like that and walked up there because there's nothing more. They can't just be like, I am going to force you to do this illegal thing because it is. Yeah. It's not legal to drive anywhere with a child unsecure in a vehicle. But also, like, he is a kid who he would get placed there and he'd be like, fuck, I'm not buckled up. And I'm just not taking the risk, bro. Like, I am going to buckle if my vehicle is moving, my child will be strapped in. If my vehicle doesn't move until it happens. Yeah. And I'm just a stickler about that. And I've always, because they told me the rule on the first day and I was just like, I get it. Once again, I understand, and I understand it's hard being a teacher. Yada. Fuck off. Okay, God bless America. I understand this because someone's gonna be like, well, you've never been a teacher at a car ride or line and then staying at school an hour longer. Bro, you're staying 20 seconds longer. Well, if you do it, then everybody else is gonna do it. I hope everybody would make the choice to fucking have a safe child because I am not. Because legally, they can't buckle your child. So I have to. I don't know. That's what they say. Legally, they're not allowed to buckle your children up. Because on the first day, she put my kid in the car. I saw they would put the kids in the car. Well, she puts them in there and then doesn't buckle them up. So I just like get out real quick and buckle them up. The first guy was just like, oh, we do it up there. We have them drive up there. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. He was like, oh, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine then. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, then no pushback or nothing like that. And I never heard anything until this year. And then she was like, you need to go up there to buckle him up. Bitch. I did say fuck out of here too, so I didn't mean to do that, but.
Well, they should have it set up in a way that you can do that safely wherever you're picking them up at. Like if they've got a split where the kids get picked up at and like put out like.
My thing was first, if you have that rule, so there's one entrance that they have for the car rider line. The buses are gone by the time the car rider line starts. So where the buses pick, like they put the kids on the buses, have a different pickup line there for the kids that need to be strapped into car seats. Don't tell parents to drive up the road because I ain't going to do it.
No.
I am very scatterbrained.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, people who leave their kids in hot cars, there's no fucking excuse. Obviously, you do not care about your child.
Well, see, like with you talking about the buckling up, like I have a routine that I go through to buckle my daughter up. And the thing is if that routine's not handled, there's been times where, and like I've trained my daughter to let me know if you're not buckled up, because like if she likes to crawl in through the back and then get in her seat. And so then like sometimes I'll forget, and like there's been like twice that I've forgotten to buckle her, like actually strap her in. And I feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world, because like she was not riding safely. And I was like, babe, like I am very, very sorry about this.
Right.
If you ever are not strapped in, let me know, because like I forgot and you could get really hurt. So please just, if you notice that you're not buckled in, I've forgotten to do this in this procedure, just let me know. And there's been a couple times where like she's been like, Dad, you gotta buckle me up. And I'm like, because like with the truck, that's another thing. She'll like climb in through the driver's side, and so then I'm getting like all the other stuff going, and then I get in. She's like, Dad, you gotta be buckled up. I'm like, thanks, dude.
But here's the thing, though. That's the tell of a good parent, because it's never been like a car accident and the child's not buckled up and dies. It's never the case of, it's like, this is the first time I've ever forgot to do it. It's just a parent that just fucking either haphazardly does it or doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like they're ready to get to whatever destination. If you're buckled type fucking person. I know there was one
but like it's
a couple weeks ago where
for you to like get him in the seat, and then your normal thing is that he's already buckled, so then you are starting to pull away, and then that's the time that you're going to forget to fucking strap him in, because you're pulling up to this other fucking location rather than just, okay, he's in the seat, buckled, all right, let's roll. So like you having to pull up to that secondary location, that is when you're going to get kids that are pulling out of the fucking...
Oh yeah, without being buckled up.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Because the procedure is not being followed, that your normal, like, okay, he's in the
Because
seat,
anything can happen to take your mind off of it too, because then you got to stop and go, guy.
Yes.
And then you keep going and you forget to buckle up.
Yes.
But like with you, when you're going, oh, I forgot to buckle up, my child will make like a routine thing out of it. Where it happens, where people are like, don't forget to, buckle your, that's for people who are just, they don't like that. Their kid climbs in, if they're buckled type. And that's so crazy, because car safety is like the fucking easiest, does not, it's the one thing in all of child safety. If I hear like a kid got into something, kids are curious and it's hard to lock it down. You can go the whole baby proof route and everything like that. But when you're at home, it's a lot easier to lose focus off of your kids, because you have so many things going on. I get more of a pass than that. I don't get passes with like swimming pools. I just don't. If you're around a body of water, your kid needs to be number one in your mind. Inside of a car, like there was just a thing that happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago where a lady was holding her child while going down the road and they got to an accident. And obviously the baby died, which fucked up a cop too. Like I understand your child just died. It is your fault, 100%. But also like you fucked up somebody else's life in the process too, because first responders have to go through that shit and they're not superhuman.
Yeah,
they don't look at death and they're like, this affects me none.
Yeah.
That's why so many of them just like, yeah, I have a therapist, and that therapist has a therapist. And it's just like, because we tell them all the crazy shit we go through.
Yeah.
And it's just a rough, and man, like, that's the crazy thing too, is everybody worries for their children. Normal parents worry so much about their kids. They are hyper vigilant about them. And I think we kind of go too far in the protection department. Like, we'll helicopter around playgrounds where it's kind of a learning scenario, because of just the stupidest stories you fucking read online of a child dying and in the most preventable fucking ways possible.
I saw it at one of the local parks. Like, my daughter's 4, and I let her experience the playground and stuff like that. But there's like one of the parks where the kids are up almost like 10 feet climbing this weird like spiral thing. And like, I'd be totally cool with my daughter climbing that. I'm still going to be within the area.
It starts with an F.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have the big? Which one's the one that's like real high up, but it also has the fucking where you can like slide down the pole?
I don't know.
That one's encased, right?
This one is not encased at all. And like, so
I think we're talking about the same one.
so this kid was climbing up it that's like maybe 2.5, 3 years old. No parents around. Like, not even, like, I think one parent was like over, but they're like 15, 20 feet away. And I'm like, that kid's not, it's not that he can't do it, but like, if he slips, falls or anything, like, you're not even like in the vicinity to like even throw out a hand to like slow down his,
Nothing.
What are you doing? Like,
Right.
in my mind, like, I get that kids need
It's
to like,
literally like 15 feet, man.
yes,
It
and I'm
is.
like, it's okay for like kids to like experience that, and you don't need to be like on top of him, like, be careful, be careful. But you should be there in case he does fall, because that's like enough that he could die from that fall.
Yeah, my thing too is also just being in the vicinity too, because other people raise their kids vastly differently. So there's like the thing you spin around that has all the net you've been to wear.
Yeah.
So I will spin that around, and I get tired. I go up there. I sit at where the little wooden things are, and I'm sitting there, and I overhear this one kid that is my like middle son's age, and he was just like, "Yeah, I saw this one picture of this girl, and she had a big set of titties." I'm just like, "Bruh," and my son even comes over there, and he's like, "That guy's weird," and I was like, "Yeah, that kid is fucking weird." But then he starts like talking shit to my son. And at first he's just like saying, just being a dick and won't move over because they're all trying to sit at the middle pole on the center of it. But then like he fucking pushes Oliver in the small of his back. Well, Oliver gets off to obviously come tell me. And I stand up right as the kid walks up again and pushes him in the middle of the back again. And I walked over to him and I was like, "Hey, bud, do you need to go tell your dad that Michael whooped his ass for you picking on my son?" And he was like, "Oh, well, what?" So he goes over there. And my daughter, she is 11. So she kind of has the wherewithal. She was like, "Dad, what if his dad comes back angry?" Which I don't know if it was his dad or not, because he looked like 18, 19. And this kid's, so I assume it was like a brother or something like that. I was like, "Baby girl, he's going to go over there and say that man said something mean to him, and they're going to leave," because he knows exactly how his son is. And any man that raises a kid like that is no man. Like, they're not the type of man that's going to come up and try to beat somebody up. And sure as shit, he walks over there, points directly to me, and you can see him go, "All right, let's just go." He's not gonna be confrontational, because any household that's raising a kid like that, that's not a fucking man. That's not somebody who confronts things. That's a guy who lets shit slide and fucking does whatever. Because in my house, like, you see how I am. I do cuss. That is one thing. It's just, I do not watch anything sexualized around them. We don't talk about anything, sexualized. We have obviously warned them about predators and stuff like that. Now my daughter's 11. She understood, which that was my wife and her conversation when she started her period and everything like that. But it's just, once again, I'm scatterbrained, but also have the wherewithal to be like, I also have to be a father and teach people about respect and shit like that. And people are going to listen to this and be like, "Well, you got to teach your son to punch people." No, the fuck you don't. You don't have to be this badass motherfucker. Now, if my daughter would have seen that kid, she'd have probably like tackled him in the back or some shit like that, just because she's like that. She has that. My middle son does not have that. And that's not something you have to grow in you. It's not like you have to grow that.
Well,
violence.
The only thing that I think you do in those moments is tell them, like, if somebody is trying to hurt you, like, you have every right to defend yourself. And that's the big thing, is like, you don't have to be the one to like take it to the violence level, but you need to be there. You need to understand that it is never wrong for you to defend yourself. Like, if you are being, if somebody is inflicting violence onto you, you have every right to, protect yourself back.
We have little kickboxing gloves and little pads at home, because I'll show them the basic, how to throw a jab, how to throw a straight, how to stand properly. Just like I am more of if somebody's fucking with you, especially that kid's like way like Lord, he's a fat kid.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was beating around the bush there. He's a fat kid. But I'll also be like, this is good. Kicking him in the nuts will end it immediately.
Yes.
Like if you are, because I had this conversation because
when it's an actual fight and you want to be done with it.
You've seen him, he's small.
Yeah.
So I have said, if somebody's messing with you, you have the right to defend yourself. Like, and I'm not the if they put hands on you. I'm the if they are talking shit to you and then get within distance to put their hands on you. That's when you start defending yourself. You do not defend yourself after you've already been hit.
Yeah.
The defending yourself starts before then. If someone's being aggressive and they've stepped into your area or have encroached you, and it's up to the point where you feel threatened, that's when you start defending yourself. I'm not one of those. Well, we could go to the school and be like, well, your son hit first. I'll be like, what happened? Be like, well, he came up towards him. I'm like, good. Yeah, nice. First line of defense. I will never, that's what baffled me too. I went to Trinity High School, and that was the first time I ever encountered someone going, hey, you hit me first. You hit me first. And she's like, what is this? And then they kind of do like this little huggy fight, and they get to the ground, and the teacher would break it up. And they'd always look for a teacher before they fought too. Like, brother, I went to a predominantly black school. You didn't know you was about to be into a fight until you was in that fight. Like, that was it. And what's so cool about that too is, listen, violence is never good, but it sure is entertaining, because we would, especially the women, when they got into fights, it'd be like a 10-on-10 just brawl. And teachers come in, teachers start getting their ass whooped, teachers throwing hands too, and I'm just like, fucking God, bless America. The whole thing with defenses, and this is somebody, if you're listening to this, I don't know if you're younger or if you're older now and you have someone who's aggressive towards you, but you never let that person hit first. And always, the thing I do immediately, if I know somebody's being aggressive, I no longer talk to you face to face. I talk to you standing sideways with my head turned, because now I have movement. If somebody punches me, I can go back a lot. There's only so far you can lean your back.
Yeah.
But now if you're standing in a side stance, you can step backwards, you can do whatever you got to do. Another thing too is I'm old and I'm fat. Brother, if you're just going to start swinging wildly and shit like that, I'm not going to partake in that, get clipped with a fucking random shot. I'm just going to, Joe Rogan did a great clip on it where it was like, I'm just going to let you get tired. That's what you do, is you let them get tired, because it is extremely offensive. People who train usually don't just randomly fight people. They understand that, fighting, there's a lot more things that can happen. It's usually just a angry person who does not know how to control their anger. That's one good thing about martial arts too, is that it does kind of teach you temperament. And but always, if you're in a situation with somebody who's aggressive, never stand face to face. Don't do that whole shit of, well, if they hit me, then even if you're 15 listening to this, if you are, get the fuck off of this because you don't get to listen to it. But if your daddy said, wait till they hit you first. No, don't ever wait till they hit you first. As soon as they're being aggressive
don't
they
chase after them, but yeah, if they
encroach in your space, if you get within punching range from me, that's the first thing I'm doing. And if you're bigger than me too, I'm punching you in the throat, I'm kicking you in the dick, because I'm not here to have a fucking tussle. Fight. Yeah, I'm not here to have a tussle with you like that. So my stepdad's dad, I'm going over to South Davidson. This is after I got kicked out of the first high school that I went to. So I'm going over there, and he's like, well, yeah, you do all that shit you used to do at your old school. These big country boys will whoop your ass. The first fight I saw there was two guys, and it was a pretty good wrestling match, but neither one of them got punched in the face. And what's so funny is the football coach, Coach Crowd, listen, God rest his soul, he was great. He was a great guy. But he was an older guy, wrestling coach. If y'all got into a fight, he wouldn't give a fuck unless somebody else of stature saw it. He's like, these two young guys. And if you were shit talking to each other, he'd be like, y'all go out behind the woods and just fucking fight it out. And then both kids would be like, well, I'll just go their separate way. Like, I guess that argument wasn't worth arguing about. But so he sees these kids fighting. He comes and breaks them up. And one kid was like, are we going to the office? He's like, y'all fucking hate each other. Why would I take y'all to the office? And he's like, y'all can just dust yourself off and go about your day. Now, me and a kid, look, I call out names on people, Dylan Shores, we got into a fight. For some reason, and I don't know why, I guess this kid was on meth at like a very young age. But I go to my locker, and he's like ripping up my textbooks and shit like that. I don't know this kid from Adam, So I chased after him. Says nothing to me. Says nothing to me. So we go out there and I immediately just like walk up and punch him in the face. I don't know why you're doing this. Honestly, I don't know why I got upset either because I just got another free textbook.
Yeah.
But I punched him in the face and we have just like this little fight. Neither one of us really got hurt. So Coach Grau comes up and he breaks it up. And I was like, you know, or we went to the office. He's like, yeah, you fucking fought in front of God and everybody. He was like, well, I have to take you to the office. I'm going to get in trouble. He was like, I don't give a fuck if you fucks get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. There were so many, because there was one big kid, Cody, I'm talking about. I think this was the one kid that he was talking about when he said the cornbread fed. He looks like a Midwestern boy. But I forgot the other kid's name, had a fucking full goatee and everything. Would talk shit to a lot of people. He's just tall. He's not really big. He's a tall dude. And he's talking shit to that kid, and Cody pops him in the back. Cody ain't saying nothing. The other guy's like talking shit, getting all angry. Cody turns around, pops him in the mouth. And he looks at Coach Brown. Coach Brown, you should have been talking shit. That's all he says. You should have been talking shit. That was a hell of a coach. One of the best teachers that I had growing up.
See, I only had 2 altercations when I moved down here. It was my senior year, and I was in gym class, and like I didn't play. Like it was fucking basketball every single day. Basketball. And so like I didn't want to fucking get sweaty in the middle of school. Like I'm not gonna be an NBA player. Like I'm not playing on the basketball team. But like there was like this one. I was a senior and there was this junior that like he played like he was gonna fucking be on ESPN tomorrow like for college. And like I don't even think he played on the fucking school basketball team. But like he was so serious about it. And so I would just like stand down and like defend like when he was coming down, I would just like slap the ball out for him. And he'd come down and like be like Michael Jordan trying to be all slick and everything. And I just slap the ball away from him. And he'd get so fucking mad. But he'd run right, try to run through me. And so that was one of the times he's like, I'm just going to plow through you next time. And I was like, okay. And so he came down, instead of me slapping it away, he like lowered his shoulder and was like going to come through me. But I'm stationary and he's running, so like I can get lower than he is, and then I just like kind of like popped him over my shoulder. He flew across, and then he like got up, and I didn't turn around. I didn't do shit. He punches me in the back of the head, and so like my thing is like right now the coach didn't see him punch me, so if I just jump his ass right now, I'm gonna be the one to start up a fight. So I was like, you fuck your sister, you inbred piece of shit motherfucker. Like punch me in my mouth so the fucking coach can see. And I just would lay into him and he just would just like fucking fuck you, man, and just walk away. And so he did that like 2 different times, and neither time did we get into like an actual fight. But I was the type where I was not gonna like hit him because like now there's like chaos going. It's gonna look like I'm kicking his ass, and like I'm the one starting the fight, even though I didn't start the fight. I was just.
You do always want to look good in those situations where there is going to be like a plausible deniability.
Yeah, and so like I literally tried to like mess him up so bad with like him fucking his sister. And
did I ever tell you the story about the guy stealing the basketball from my friend when I first started at Trinity?
No.
I didn't tell you that. I'm not going to tell it on here then because I don't want to sound like I'm one-upping you on the story. I'm not going to do it. You don't remember it?
No, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, my brother-in-law, he always tells a story about, because he was a big chubby kid all throughout school. Yeah. And there was one kid who would like constantly slap him in the back of the head and shit like that. Yeah. So the kid comes up or they're talking about something. No, he wouldn't always slap him. He was just a dick to him.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about something and the kid stands up and just slaps him in the back of the head. And he got to spend 5 days for it.
Yeah.
That was the only fight he had ever been in. That was under the zero tolerance. Zero tolerance meant if you were not from an affluent family and you did not dress with all the nice clothes and shit like that, if you look poor, do not fucking do anything because they're going to be on your ass in a heartbeat. That kid wearing the fucking Abercrombie and Fitch jacket with the fucking Justin Bieber haircut, those were the dicks, man. They would never get in fucking trouble because it just, you'd be in class or you go to the office and I'm sitting there in a fucking hoodie I wear every day that's got stains on it versus, you know, this kid right here. And it's like, well, look at you, bud. Look at your fat ass. I bet you were out there throwing your weight around. Well, I've never done. I know. I'm just getting bullied, bro. Like, what the fuck?
I defended myself after I got, like...
Teachers really did, like, turn me into when I really got to the point where I did become a bully because I was like, fuck, man. A, I'm not getting picked on anymore. And B, it just does feel good because the more I did it, the more popular I got.
See, that's the wild thing about going back to like the 20-year reunion, because my class was so small that like I think there's a couple of my friends that like made it out without getting bullied necessarily, but for the most part, like all of us were bullied and then bullied each other. We all talk shit, and so like it's a weird dynamic. Like my wife had made the comment. She's like, the size of your whole entire grade is like the size of the clique that I ran, like
Right.
inside my whole school. Like so, like that was the close group of friends, and like that was every fucking money. So from the time I was in preschool until I would have graduated with them, but I left for my senior year, like it's the same fucking 30 kids every day for your whole entire school. Like the whole entire time of us growing up, it was the same
wild.
fucking kids.
Because that's a classroom.
Yeah.
That's just a regular.
Yeah,
class.
there's always two classes. Like so, like if there was an English class, it was like 15 to 20 kids. And so like I think if we were to take all the kids that have came and went out of that class, there's probably like 40 something. But like the graduating class was like 32 or something like that.
That's wild. So you'd be like, man, I want to get a class with my best friend, and she's like, all right,
Most likely, yeah.
yeah, most likely you're probably gonna be in that class with him.
Yeah. But that also means that there's only like 15 girls in class. So like if I did,
Who has had sex? We all have. Yes, it's just.
I mean, yeah, all the girls were like we had, and so then you'd go to like other schools, but even still, like you knew everybody.
Oh yeah, dude. My girlfriend goes to a different school. Me, I do like the fact that I didn't have any shame, because they'd be like, Mike, where's the bitches at, buddy? I'll be like, pussy wells run dry, brothers. Pussy wells run dry. Mike's got hit on the fat women. There was one big girl. Bro, my friends, this is like Southern Guilford. I was, after the fight with the senior, that's when I really had started, because you're in a school with all new people. You got half or a quarter, I don't know, middle school, transition out there, fucking kids. But not all the kids I knew went there. So, a brand new day. And also there's 4 years in this one. So it's a higher likelihood the classes that were with my brothers and shit like that. So when I got there, of course, people were like, oh, fuck yeah, another right to bully. Except that this one was built different. All right. He had already found out he was built different. I was scared to fight, but also, couldn't wait to do it. Which was it's the goofiest conundrum ever. And I'll tell you, I'll get into it, because I talk about some of these like I'm a badass. No. All right. So I go to Southern Guilford, or South Davidson, because I went from Southern Guilford to South Davidson to Wheatmore to Trinity. Three out of 4 schools I got kicked out of. And then one was about to fail because I had missed so many days. And thankfully, when I left Southern Guilford, I had missed a lot of days through suspension and all sorts of things. And I was going to have to get help back. And that's poo-poo stinky bad. But I got kicked out. Thankfully, got kicked out. Went to South Davidson. And South Davidson, when I was like, they were looking at, all they did was look at my grades and stuff. They was like, oh, you just need to like do this, 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 and this, and you'll be fine. And I'm like, what? I was literally about to get held back my grade. That's crazy. Just for missing days, all my grades were good.
Yeah.
When I dropped, this is the fucking duality of me. I dropped out 1 year. I didn't even drop out. I just left and got all zeros, and I graduated with a 3.2 GPA with 4 zeros on my weighing down my grade. I was like AP classes and shit like that. I don't know. I got into the thug life, and I was not meant for it also. And I didn't want to be in there. And it did get to a point where I was just like, I want to fucking live this life and get into gang violence and shit. No, it's not for me. Which didn't, work out in my favor. But so this is before the Trinity. I got to talk about the thing that happened at South Davidson. So South Davidson, there was this one girl, Danielle. Oh, fuck. I'm still living in that fucking house.
Well, there's 1,000 Daniels.
Yeah. Well, this one's going to become all too clear once I keep talking about it. So if anybody went to that school. So Danielle dates this guy, Edgar, all right?
Well, now you're fucking giving it a little.
Who from that school? Is A going to, remember me from the year I went there? Everybody does, by the way. Everybody, they were like, we thought you died, bro. Like, everybody came with rumors about what happened to you. You got into a fight and just got kicked out forever. So, I am hitting on her. Like, I'm talking to her and stuff like that. And she is very pretty. So, I'm trying to get with her. She has a boyfriend. I am not, look, this is my thing. I am not friends with a boyfriend. And I feel like if you shoot a shot, even though she has a boy, like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't my fault. I also, like, fancy the girl you like. That's how I looked at it back then, all right? But still, it's not my friend's girl. You know what I'm saying? I'll try. This is why when there's like a coworker that's like, oh, tells your girl like, oh, we should do shit. No, what do? I read those stories all the time on Reddit. I'm just like, you don't do that because he is one. There is no, you just met a coworker friend and he's just trying to be friendly with you. I digress. Edgar tells me he is not, and bro was from Mexico, had a thick accent, and was on the wrestling team, and could just by chance fight his motherfucking ass off. Boy, was a badass. I thought he was going to be like a UFC fighter or whatever when he grew up. But he was a pretty bad dude. So I would do it, and I always knew, especially who he was. And I still did it. I'm stupid. You know, fucking, you're young and dumb. So he tells me, he's like, hey, you know, that's my girl. And I'm very respectful. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, don't hit her. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I apologize, brother. It's not what you think it is, even though it's 100% what you think it is. Absolutely. Yeah, to this day, I'll tell Edgar, it's not what you think it was. If he catches me out, if he listens to this podcast, comes behind me, I'll be like, I was just lying for entertainment value, brother. You ain't got to get angry. So I continue to try to hit on Danielle. And one day I am walking out of my classroom and this motherfucker grabs me. Now, I'm probably like the same height. I've been 5'10" since I was in 9th grade. Not grown a goddamn millimeter.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is up. So I'm not fat, but I'm at the point where I'm like transitioning down and working out and stuff like that. Motherfucker grabs me and throws me up against the locker like it ain't nothing.
Is he little, very smaller than you, or?
He's like his forehead would come up to like the middle of my forehead. So he's shorter than me, but he's still fucking, he's got like a 900 pack. And
yeah,
once again, the best wrestler on the team and just fucking about the business. And he puts me up against the locker, straight bully shit straight out of, and all this shit I talk, and 100% Edgar heard none of that. He heard, oh yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I was just hitting on her. What? No, I was just telling her the dangers of alcohol in a field, drinking alcohol. You know, you can get alcohol poisoning from that. It's not, it was educational value. Please don't beat my ass, Edgar. And the teachers come and break it up. And my friends would even be like, you know, it looked like Edgar was going to fuck you up. I was like, it did look like he was going to fuck me up. He probably could have fucked me up. We had another instance, because I told you, Coach Crow did not give a fuck. Like, when we had PE, I don't know, I guess PE teachers have, like, they're like, we're going to do a test. None of that shit. You showed up PE, he immediately, you do what you want.
Oh, man, that's great.
It was the Wild West, bro. And like we'd be like, hey, we want to play mat ball. So he'd organize that. That's the only time he organized shit.
How did you play mat ball? How was your mat ball?
They set mats from, tell a story about mat ball too.
Well, because like we had mat ball, and the way that we played it was there was a mat in each corner. They pulled them off the walls and stuck them in each corner.
Yeah.
And then it's basically like kickball, but you have 4 bases, and you're not on home base. It's like coming straight in the middle of like first and fourth.
Well, let me tell you about mat ball.
And we had to run around twice in order to score.
So at South Davison, they have the gym, and then they got a side gym. So they have a gym.
Wait, one second. And if you played mat ball in gym, I would like to hear your mat ball experience and the comments. Okay, go ahead.
So, you know the mat ball story because it's this finger. Why this finger's so fucking fat? Around the rent. Once I tell it to you, you're going to be like, yeah, you know the story. But we had the second gym off to the side. And what we would do there is whatever the fuck we wanted to do. Because Coach Crow was going to sit at the back and whatever magazine he was reading, he loved Alabama football. Loved Alabama football. So if we weren't talking shit to him about that, we was over on the other side of the gym doing whatever. So we would do this thing and you knew this going in. If you were just standing there minding your own business and there was a ball near you, somebody was going to kick that motherfucker in your face. And that was just a thing. And we all accepted that. It's all guys over there. It was the silent acceptance of, like, if you do that, that's what happens. So Edgar did that to me. This was before we got into any altercation. It was just a thing that you did. So he did it to me, and He does, it's soccer balls, bro. There's no give. It's not like dodgeballs. The dodgeballs.
So you played mat ball with a soccer ball?
No, we're not playing mat ball right now. We're just.
You started with a mat.
It's the Wild West in the side gym. They had like a little decrepit basketball court over there.
Mind you, 30 kids. So we had one gym.
Yeah.
No multiple gyms.
Well, this one was like they were making a new gym, and this was the old one they had built around it. I don't know what the fuck they did, but the basketball court in here was all cracked and shit like that. I think they made jokes that they played girls basketball in there. But he does that. And I'm like trying to game my bet. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? You know, I don't know who Edgar is at this point. And this is so at the end of 9th grade year, that's when I left Southern Gulf. The thing with me and him didn't happen until the 10th grade year when I got kicked out. So I'm like, what? He's like, it's like we all do it. Like, and I knew it was a thing that everybody did. And then people were like, oh, he's new. And let me tell you, Edgar could puss in boots like nobody else because he apologizes. And I guess it's like this Mexican Casanova thing. I don't know what it is. If there's like a little gay in me, because he just hits me with, oh, he's like, brother, I am so sorry. It's Mexicans, man. I tell you, I put him on a higher pedestal than everybody else. But he hits me with just like this, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't know, you know? And he's like,
that you didn't.
Yeah, he's like, I know you don't know, you know. We do this, and I'm so sorry. Like from the bottom of it, it's like you could tell, like I saw a sparkle in his eye and everything. And I was like, man,
you're all right.
It's okay, you jack little Mexican. Like I forgive you. Yeah, everything's good.
Learning friends.
And then shoot to fucking next year. Yeah, he's just like, oh, he turned out of the which was crazy too though. Is I would then go to lunch and sit at the table with him. And
after the...
Yeah, and he would like... So it's like, because, you know, the first day it happens, I ain't going to sit there because it's fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The anger's fresh. So it's like a couple days later, I sit there all... And he's just like, fucking...
Were you guys
talking about... Yeah, just like talking about whatever. And I was like, all right.
So what's this have to do with mat ball?
Okay, I'm sorry, the mat ball story. So... we're playing mat ball. They set up the mats. Now, if you've never played mat ball before, and I might have told this on the podcast, this might where I've been told it in an earlier episode. But if you play mat ball, you understand when you run and you jump on a mat, them bitches gonna slide. Mm-hmm. So I kick the ball, and it's a good kick, all right? And I get it. I'm getting it. This is towards 9th grade. So 10th grade is where I've lost a bunch of weight, trimmed down, looking good. I was like, Mike, we ain't gonna get no bitches if we're sitting here being fat and shit like that. And plus, the road we lived on, Jim Elliott, was like 5 miles long to get to our house. So I could walk up. What I'd do is I'd go up and down that because I was like, well, we fat as shit. We gotta get some bitches. I went through periods of being small and fat. And what's so funny is I could just scroll through my Facebook and be like, small Mike, fat Mike, small Mike, fat Mike. I'm about to get on small Mike again because I've been working out. But I'm going, man, and I got some inertia behind me. I'm a pretty chubby kid. So I got some inertia behind me. Well, I step on, it's third base. Yep, it would be what would be second base. So we're at the back. First base is right here. Second base is at the double doors. Double doors are very important. Third base right here. Home plate is where you kick the ball at. So I kick it, and it's a good kick, and I'm getting it. And I jump. I don't know why I jumped, because if you're fat and you ever got a lot of momentum and you're like, I should jump, don't do it. So I jump up in the air with both feet land on the mat, all right? I am almost like tilted back like this. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm falling backwards. So I overcorrect too much forward, and I slam my hand into one of the double doors. And then I stand up, and this finger is bent all the way backwards. Woo. And so I stand up, and I'm just like, oh, and I immediately look down at my hand. And you don't want to seem like a bitch. So I turn around, and I'm like, yeah, man, I fucked up my finger. And Coach Crow comes, and he's like, oh, fuck. So, he walkie-talkies somebody from the office to come get me. I don't know why we didn't just walk up there. So I had to stand there for a good 10 minutes and pretend like I was not in agony. And I'm just like, fucking shit happens there. I've had bee stings hurt worse. I'm pretty sure I was saying corny shit like that. I'm being corny. So I'm like, man, I want to hear somebody tell this story, because I want to just be like, if someone was like, yeah, brother, you look like you was about to cry. Because I was like, I've had bee stings hurt worse than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is nothing. And as soon as I'm just like, Doug, you gotta come with mom and dad. What the fuck? Oh my God, have you ever seen something like that? And what's so crazy too is the pitch they got from the office. Obviously, the lady that set up the secretary had never seen anything like that, because she was like, fuck! can you die from that? Like, oh my God. Like, she was not equipped with dealing with injuries because she was freaking out as much as I was freaking out. The crazy thing is when the doctor set it back in place too. So he's like, all right, I'm putting the numb thing in there. And he's like sitting there talking to me. And he's like, and the numb thing is probably going to take, he's like, just, the numb thing probably take about, 10, maybe 20 minutes. And he was like, done. And I looked down and he had fucking popped my finger back in place in that time.
And didn't
feel a motherfucking
That's crazy. I broke my arm on a 4-wheeler. Literally on this 4-wheeler. My buddy's dad, I was riding on the back of it, and like I'm not gay, so I'm not gonna like put my.
But it feels gay.
I'm not gonna put my arms around him, and he's like, don't hold on to the luggage rack, like, just don't do it. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And so like that's where I'm fucking holding on to, and we go through like these ruts that just like go, and one of them gets it, and then all of a sudden my fucking arm, I look at it, and it's like literally snapped. And I was like, Jim, hey, I think I broke my arm. He's like, no. Looks back and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He just grabs it and goes, chink, chink. Puts it back in place. Reset it, like right there. Like fucking instantly. And like, luckily it did. It's like, I was already in shock from the whole thing. But like,
did you ever go to the doctor about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say.
But the thing was, is like, that's,
every time it's cold, I'm in excruciating pain.
I think I was like 12 or 13 at the time.
I thought you were going to say, like, it always feels, because I have been a kid who always wanted to ride 4-wheelers, and the only time I rode 4-wheelers were with my friends, but they also wanted to ride their 4-wheelers, so I would also be relegated to the back. And this kid, Andrew, I used to ride on his 4-wheeler, and he would let me drive it, but then also when, like, we were going in, I'd have to ride on the back. Yeah. And I thought because he was also but when he was like, yeah, you could ride, when he was like, you can't put it on the luggage rack, you got to wrap him around me. Bro, I fucking held on like it was the Titanic. I'm just fucking snuggled up. I didn't even give a fuck.
No, it was just one of those things where I hadn't like rode on I rode 4-wheelers, but I didn't like ride bitch. Like I didn't ride in the back. And but this is the thing. It's like, so I'm like 12 or 13.
Right.
Arms reset. He calls my parents. My parents come, and like we live in BFE, like they're in bumfuck Egypt for people that don't know where that is. But like waiting on my parents takes like 45 minutes to get there. I'm fine. Like it doesn't hurt really. So like I'm fine. But then all of a sudden it started to like swell in like these weird areas so that it looked like it was going to be like fucked up permanently. And then I start like crying like a little bitch because like my arm's fucked up. And I'm like, oh man, it's going to be fucked up for the rest of my life. And then we end up going to the emergency room, and they're like, oh yeah, just go see the doctor on Monday. And this was like Friday night. They're like, yeah, just arm in a sling, go see the doctor on Monday. And then finally Monday comes around after I'm like sleeping like this for the whole weekend, and then finally they put a fucking cast on it. But I had to go the whole weekend with like this weird like lumped up fucking weird arm for literally like 3 days.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, we never went to the doctor, and
no,
just when it gets cold outside, agonizing pain. I just
I have none of those pains really. Like I have like pain free.
Right. People are like, when it gets real cold, to have the pain, like if they had knee surgery. Or my friend Dustin, he fucking tore his ACL doing mat ball.
See, with our ball, could more than one person be on a base?
Yeah.
Okay. Like ours was in the corners of the gym. So like we had 4 bases. You kicked from in between like first and fourth, and you had to run around twice in order to score. And then the way that our gym was built was like if it hit the ceiling, you were out. But if you could hit it above like this brick line that we had, like where the bricks changed, like there was cement block and then bricks.
Right.
And if you hit above the cement blocks, it was a home run. And
like ours had white and then blue at the top.
Yeah. And so if you could hit it up there without hitting the ceiling, that was a home run. But then like the rest of it was like,
oh yeah, fuck if I hit the ceiling. Fuck if I have the fucking velocity and power to hit the.
But then you kicked with like a kickball, right? Which is crazy. Like I wonder if there was like a
dodgeball. Kickballs were dodgeballs.
Yeah, and then like
because kids these days, like when they play dodgeball, they have the foam balls. I'm like, you pussies.
No.
Like how getting hit in the face with the dodgeball? How do you become a man? Not here, like walking away with the ringing in your ear.
And like that's the thing that was the funnest part was like you would just like fucking chuck that thing.
Do you remember the ring from a dodgeball? Like you have to just the.
But you like when playing kickball, like or mat ball, that's what it was like though, is because like there'd be like a pile of kids and you just hope that you weren't the fucking one running to that base when somebody chucked that thing and like if it took out your legs, you're like flipping over or you get smacked in the face. Because like with dodgeball, at least you're like kind of aware, but like when you're fucking chucking it to trying to get to like the next base and then somebody has a good arm and takes you out, that hurt like a bitch.
There was this one little kid. He used to get picked on a lot. His name was Matthew. He was like a fat kid, but he was real stubby. Like he was short too, so he was real stubby and wasn't fast at all. And how we would play at, so and I'm not look. This is not a race thing. Black people just tend to be faster a lot of the times. Okay, quick. Black people are quick. It happens.
Not all, but most.
Yeah, but not 99%. Okay, we're gonna say that the stereotype that black people are fast is true because the black guys were fast. So my thing was, I'm not running up to get a dodgeball when the kid next to me is a fucking athlete. The kid across from me is a fucking athlete. I'm not doing it. I'm not stupid. Matthew was not like that. He always wanted to go up there and try to get one of the balls, man. And as
do that,
he would get a ball. There were plenty of balls to get.
Yeah,
like there was more than enough for everybody, but he would get his head taken off. And if you see somebody get their head taken off with a dodgeball, not a memory. If you see somebody just every single time you play fucking dodgeball, you know it's going to happen. Like he's going to get pelted with 5 or 6 balls.
Still had the fire in him. He had spirit. Like he wasn't just going to sit around and wait. Like he'd go for it.
Sometimes we have a couple white kids on our team, predominantly white team, and we got guys. We got to work together. All right, we got to work. We got to form a shield. We got to start playing a team sport right now, okay? Because we're gonna fucking lose. That's what sucks so bad too. Is just at Southern Gopher they acted like it was a fucking PE was we're training warriors out here. Like we're going outside and we're gonna see who can run the fastest mile. Really? You want to know who can run the fastest mile? You think it's gonna be the white kid? Or you think it's gonna be fucking Antonio right here, the 6'7" guy with a fucking 100 pack? You don't think he's probably a little bit faster than I am? We had this one kid though. He was like 5'7". I don't remember his name. He was Hispanic, and they called him Casanova. Like that was his nickname was Casanova. He was just like a skinny, Hispanic, fastest motherfucker I to this day have seen.
Yeah.
Literally, there was a black kid whose nickname was Rocket. If you're black and black people tend to have the nickname of something that they do well or some accident that happened, and it sticks. If your nickname is Rocket, that means you're fast as fuck. It's his childhood nickname. They knew he was going to be fast as fuck. Bro, I think his name was Daniel, actually, though. This man, a kid. He was a white kid, though. He acted like a white kid. But he was Hispanic. And I'm talking about he would dirt on everybody.
Even Rocket.
Would not run track and field. And I was just like, man, you got like a future in that. He was like, yeah, look at the gay uniforms they wear. And I was like, fair enough. Fair enough. He was like, I'd never do that. You would never get a picture of me. I don't think he'd get a scholarship. He'd be like, you think I'm going to college? Like,
yeah.
Weed, that was the shit he was more into.
I ran cross country for a year. And like I say for a year, I ran for like the first meet and realized that I was at the back of the pack. And I was like, hey, I'll just keep smoking cigarettes and hang out behind these because like we practiced in the cemetery, so I just like run and then like hide a cigarette and then like cheat and cut across and then like at meets there was one guy on our team that was obviously slower than me. He was the big guy on the team, and I just run in the back and talk with him, and then every once in a while I'd let him win just because. You don't want to.
Was he like the guy that did the ball thingy?
No. This is cross country, so it's like.
Oh, so it's not track and field.
No, it's like running miles, and it's.
I always forget.
The same stupid little shorts.
I always forget there's an infield, and then there'll be somebody who does not look like a runner, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm on track and field." And I was like, "Oh, so we lose a lot, right?" It's like
no, we didn't even have track and field until I think it was maybe like my 10th or 11th grade. Then they got a track and field team, but for the longest time, like back in the day, they had wrestling, they had swimming, they had all this other stuff.
Did you have football?
But when I was going there, we had football.
Did your football team suck really bad?
Ours wasn't bad. Like, I mean, it's a division thing.
So
ours wasn't too bad.
South Davidson, like I said, that's an all-white school. The 2 years that I went there, because I went
so South Davidson's
back end of 9 and then, all white people, sundown town, real racist. I don't think times have changed so much.
But I come from New York where it's still all white people, but like
Right.
not a single black person. I think there's Hispanic people, but that's
But if you said anything about black people around all those white people, they will get very upset for the white people.
in my New York.
No, in that New York.
The New York that
I don't know the racial divide in New York, rich New York.
the New York that I grew up in was like people were very racist.
No, I'm talking about the New York where that Jay-Z and Gwen Stefani sung about.
Yeah.
They didn't sing about all of it.
I've never-
They sung about just the city part.
Just the city.
Yeah,
Never
just the
been
city
there.
part. Fuck, I got. But yeah, okay. So I went to Southern Guilford the back half of ninth grade, and then towards the end of 10th grade. I don't know what story I was telling.
Something about the track and field cross country.
Oh no, the football team. So yeah, all white school. From the time that I went there through ninth grade, I had learned about their football team. And then in 10th grade, because they had won one game, and I was like, oh, maybe it's like they're young, and now they're, they lost a lot of seniors and stuff like that. The next year they won 0 games. They got worse. And I was like, oh fuck. Coach Kraut, who was also the football coach, he loved wrestling. He was a wrestling coach in his heart, also had to do football.
Yeah.
He'd be like, yeah, we lost a lot of seniors. And I was like, man, good thing you don't need. And homecoming too. Who the fuck were we playing against? Chatham, and they sucked. And we're there, and this is homecoming because it's like this is the team we could beat. It's the team we beat last year, and it was like 27-0 at halftime. We were losing. I was like, I think they got better. I think they might have went around and just recruited a couple black kids. I don't know.
I have been extremely bored of most high school football games that I've ever watched.
Like, yeah, if you're not going there because of no one goes there to watch unless you got a kid playing.
Yeah.
Everybody's there for nefarious reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I got to finger I have an appointment to finger somebody on the police or something. That's why I'm going to the football game. Like, I am not going there to watch football.
I think when I was in high school, like I definitely didn't go when I moved down here, but like when I wouldn't go to I would go to the game. But then within like a few minutes, me and some of my buddies would be like, hey, you guys want to smoke? Go over here and go under the bridge and smoke weed and just chill.
Everybody wanted to do it under the bleachers. And I'm like, that's
No.
the easiest place for someone to just be like, I smell marijuana and get caught. And then one time a cop, he did a parent, I don't know who informed the cop or if he smelled it himself. But he was like, everybody in this section, I'm going to search. And everybody was like, no, you're not. And he was like, all right. And walked. I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to search everybody. I didn't have anything on me. But I was like, he's going to search everybody. And then all the parents were like, no, fuck, you're not. And he was just like, all right, have a good day. I was like, you just do that to cops?
Not you, but they can.
My friend Anthony tried to do that. They were walking down the road and look, I guess I sold weed maybe twice in my life. The first time, it literally lasted like 4 days, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So he called. And then the second time lasted maybe 2 months, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. But we started selling because my friend Anthony explained about breaking it down in grams and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that is a good business strategy.
Yeah.
Like if you're, you buy a quarter and then you break it down in grams, you're going to make way more money because you're not selling it in big quantities. And it's a cheap way to make a lot of money. And it's a good thought until you realize, well, I got to go here and sell a gram, and I got to go here and sell a gram, and I got to go here and sell a gram. And then most people don't just want a gram.
Yeah.
So then your math starts to get fucked with. And I was like, I kind of, there was one night I was staying up real late, probably on something different. And I was like, that sounds like a good strategy. And I enacted it the next day, and it did not turn out to be what I thought it was. He stayed on it a little while longer.
Yeah.
But they get pulled over by a cop. And he just, in his mind, inconspicuously takes the weed out of his pocket, throws it on the ground. He's not really ever been in trouble. I don't know why he was so. If I was a good friend, I'd have been like, bro, this ain't us.
Yeah.
I don't know how you taught me into doing this. I guess it's being poor, and then you're like, oh, be less poor. Come on, man. But
That's how we end up on a podcast. Hasn't worked out.
the way they worded the cop getting out, he just gets out of the car. He's like, I just saw you throw that shit on the ground. Like, that's the first thing. He's like, God damn, man. I guess it's a cop, like, who was ready to get off shift.
Yeah.
But he walks over there and he's like, fucking come on, man. The only one out of them three getting in trouble, too. And he was like, I really want to fucking search y'all, man. I'm just going to be like, what are you kids doing out late at night? Please get back home. And he's like, you just going to drop it. He said, you fucking dumbass. The whole time just like, oh, my God, man.
See, where I grew up in New York, we never got, like, busted. I think there was one party that got busted where people got like underage tickets. I was down here in North Carolina visiting, so like I wasn't at the party, but like for the most part, every time the cops came, they'd either take our booze,
or just they walked up lackadaisically announcing their presence.
Yeah.
That's one thing too, because I remember the first house party I went to where cops came, I was like, I gotta hide in the fucking closet. I am terrified.
Yeah.
And then
they're like,
I hear them come in. They're just like, hey, kind of fucking a lot of kids. Yeah, like you said.
home, like,
Yeah, y'all need to go home. Is there alcohol here? One kid said no. They're like, all right, well, don't be drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
And then they left. The second time, they just like kind of like walk up. They start shining a light like this. Everybody takes off. They just stand there. Just
we have this one. So I'll start from the beginning of the night just to like get to where we like what we had preemptively had happen. But we were at this party a couple towns over, and we had bought some shrooms, and so we ate the shrooms, me and my one buddy, and he had found a watch earlier. Like all this chaos like ended up happening, but we started walking to another friend's house. That was our goal. We were gonna walk like basically 7 to 8 miles to this other friend's house, and that's where we're gonna crash the night. Well, while we're walking, me and the guy that ate shrooms are both wearing Dare shirts. Ironically, that was our whole thing is, Dare shirt, haha, fuck Dare. And so we're tripping, walking down the road with our other two buddies, and these guys keep like riding by us like, Dare's for fags, you fags, and then like we drive off. And then like finally after like
that's like a movie bully thing to do. It's just yeah, being drug free is for queer. That's like what drug commercials would.
But like we
portray kids.
I think I had like a multicolored mohawk at the time, and like I think one of us is probably wearing Jinkos. Like obviously it's like
we're wearing it for the satire. Yeah,
and but like it was just like 3 or 4 times these same people came back by, and so finally a car's coming up behind us, and my other buddy who's tripping, he's finally had enough, and like even though he's on shrooms, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kick their ass. Like if they slow down, I'm fucking jumping in this car. And so they slow down, and somebody pops their head up the window. They're like, hey, do you know how to get to the hill? Which is where this other party's happening at, that we wanted to go to, but we're just walking to our friend's house. We're gonna go crash for the night. They're like, yeah, do you know how to get to the hill? And so it ends up being some of our buddies that want to go to another party. So we hop in the car with them.
So it's not the same guys that called our fags.
No, totally different crew of people. And me and the other guy that ate shrooms were like, sweet, we can go to this next party instead of just going to somebody's house and going to sleep. Like, we can just keep the night going. And so we dropped the 2 guys off at their house that we were going to stop at, and then we show them how to get to this other party. And as soon as we get down to this other party, like, there's just like fight breaking out, like where I guess one guy was harassing another guy about how hot his sister was, and so dude just starts fucking wailing on him, and other guy gets in his car and shuts the door, and my buddy thinks that the window's open, so he tries to punch through the window to like punch the guy in the face, but the window's closed, so he just punches the window, and you are not punching through a fucking car window, so like he basically breaks his hand in the process of that. And so like all this stuff happens like immediately when we show up to this party. So it's like chaos. And then the night goes on. It's a normal, teenage drinking party, random little stuff here and there. But then we're all sitting around the campfire, and most of us had ran out of alcohol by that time. And so there's this car that pulls up over the hill, which we're like in this like gully in a field, and it's like a half mile to the road. And so when this car pulls up over the hill, somebody's like, man, I hope they brought beer. And then some other random person was like, man, if that's the cops, I'm running. I'm like, it's fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right,
It's not the fucking cops. And they can't come. It's like private property. Well, turns out the kid that punched the window and broke his hand drove drunk home, and he was like one of like 3 or 4 kids that got busted drunk driving pulling out of this place. So the cops had probable cause. So the cop pulls in, opens his door, clicks on his flashlight, and he's like, everybody get out your IDs. The guy that said he was going to run just fucking takes off running.
And like, I told him I was going to run. I fucking told him. I told all the losers back there.
He did. And then right in front of him, while the cop has his flashlight on him, he runs straight into a pond.
Oh, pot?
A pond.
Oh, a pond.
And then
Fuck so fast.
he gets back out and then runs off into the woods, and the cop, like, literally.
Well, if it's night in a field, you can't see it.
But the cop's just like, I hope that was worth it.
Right, yeah.
And so then he gets like everybody else to like get out their IDs, and the buddy that I was eating shrooms with, I think he had been on probation, or no, the guy that had been partying with us, he had been on probation. So he's like, as soon as the cop like goes over there, we're gonna fucking book it to the woods. So my buddy that was doing shrooms, he threw his pipe, like your friend did. He threw his pipe and his weed over off to the side so that if he did get busted, like he would not get busted with it. And so we ended up taking off into the woods and waiting and waiting and waiting for the cops to eventually leave. And the sun's coming up by this time. Parents come down. Finally, the cops leave, and then we come back out. And the one thing that the fucking cops left with was my buddy's pipe and his weed. Like they didn't.
Yeah, we're gonna go smoke this.
They did not, give anybody else.
No citations, no tickets. Yeah.
Nothing. They found the weed and the pipe because he had like this little fancy like hippie fabric bag that he had his cute little pipe in with a little bag of weed, and so they just like picked it up and confiscated whether they took it and smoked it or not. But like that,
Bro, Dare told you, like, if you got caught underage drinking, your life was over. And one of my brother's friends got caught doing it. It's like, yeah, he gave me a citation and didn't even like make me go home.
No.
It was just like, go walk off into the darkness, kid. And so I was like, oh, they probably don't really give a fuck about that then.
we got busted on Lake Erie, like where I just took my family up to go on vacation, and that beach, my cousin used to live off of it, and so we had like 3 fires set up, and it was an awesome party. Like, I mean, for being teenagers, underage drinking, like it was the seven, like beach party, multiple fires, everybody just sitting around drinking, and the cops busted us there. And part of the stuff, they were like, dump that out. So we were just sitting there cracking beers and dumping them out. Me and the same kid that did the shrooms at the last party, we were at this, and he's like, go put out some of those fires. So we went up the beach and just put out the fires real quick and then hid so that we weren't going to get busted with an underage drinking ticket, which we never did. But yeah, he made it like all the rest of the people sit there and empty out all of their beer cans. And then finally, when he busted somebody up at the road where he was parked at, he's like, all right, just take that cooler, throw it in my car. So he went home with the...
One of my good buddies, Isaiah, I'm going to tell you a couple stories about him. He kind of had like a tragic adult story, I think it is turning around. I don't know. Last time I heard from him about him, things were looking kind of up. But I'll tell you a couple, because the first story I tell you is going to not lead to a second. I just want to tell the second and maybe even third, because this one of you good buddies growing up.
Yeah.
So Isaiah, he's like, we're young and he's a fucking 6'4" black guy. Like he just, like you don't want to fuck with him anyways. And he just hit incredibly hard too. Like if he punched you, me, if I'm doing punches, like I'm fucking pivoting, I'm trying to add like force into it. I'm using everything. He could just straight punch something and that's it. Like you're done for the day. Humongous hands. So we're riding with my friend Brandon. We have a guy, Zach, in the backseat. I'm also in the backseat. So we're just gold Pontiac. Brandon's driving, and we get pulled over by the cops. And the cop immediately just walks over to Isaiah's side. It's just, he's like, you guys got ID? And we're all like, bro, why'd you get on his side? Out of all the sides, he gets on his side. So Zach puts all this shit out to the floor. So I don't know I can't tell you what laws are, and I can't be like, you're bullshitting, officer. But apparently, it doesn't matter whose car it is. It doesn't matter who's in the car. Whatever, if they're in the car, everybody can charge with it.
Yes.
So he tells us that. Zach is really not our friend, okay? And Isaiah snitches. He's not snitching.
Yeah.
But it is kind of snitching in the funniest way possible. Because he'd be like, man, I don't know whoever's weed that is, but they better fess up because I'm going to beat the fuck out of them when we get out of jail. And then finally, that's my weed, man. Which Zach was, just a shiesty bitch.
Yeah.
And when I first met Isaiah, everybody, talked about him like he's God's gift to fighting. And they were like, I hate to box. Like, I'd love to box Isaiah. And the motherfucker was just like, I got boxing gloves. And everybody, started getting them like, oh, bet you go. I was like, no, boxing. What are you talking about? Now, we had been drinking beers. Or, no, we were drinking Captain Morgan Spice rum. Because my brother loved to drink it. He'd buy it in the gallons.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I think at this point, I do, like when I was younger, I would drink because my friends were drinking and I didn't want to, seem like a deadbeat dad, even though I didn't like it a lot.
Yeah.
But I would drink and sometimes I get fucked. And I am decently drunk. I am not fucked up. But I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go outside and fight. Isaiah, big black guy, he has on one of the popular, everybody knows it, the black jackets that had the fur around it.
Yeah.
So he proceeded to wear the jacket during the boxing match. And I am not being racist. I couldn't see him. I have bad eyesight, terrible eyesight. I should be wearing glasses. This has been since like 15 years old. I should be wearing glasses. Dylan knows I wear glasses. I'm not wearing glasses. It's nighttime. He is black and black pants on. It's the black, the fucking shiny, not glittery, but they look like they glittered. But I love those pants, okay? That was his getup. And I'm at nighttime. There's a porch light. Everybody was like, you should have seen him because of the porch light. I'm like, I can't fucking see him. I'm getting tore up from all angles, and I don't know if he's moving.
Are you there?
I just think I'm moving, getting punched in a different spot, trying to find him as I shift my body and getting punched from a different spot. And I'm just like, fucking talk or something, breathe hard so I can know where you're at. Like, I felt like it was one of those, Daredevil, he has to see with his fucking hearing and everything. I thought that's what it was. Like, I had a fight moment where I had to grow as a fighter. So I get my shit whooped. I don't think I hit Isaiah one motherfucking time. And everybody's like, oh, so it got me. And I was just like, well, fuck it. Tomorrow, let's box during the daytime. And it's going to be a lot better. So we start boxing. And now because look, man, put them fucking dukes up. Get into their motherfucking chest, you're going to take some punches, all right? But that's the only way. If you got a guy who's way taller than you, that's the only way you're going to get some licks in. Don't try to do no distance punching. You ain't goddamn Jet Li, all right? I know this man's arms are as long as I am. So I'd get like right there and I just uppercuts and fucking like hooks and whatever I could do, I'd punch him in the body. And no kid punched in the body back then.
Yeah.
And I think in that round, he punched me one time during the second time I got up in his chest. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was seconds away from just being like, no mas, from one punch. But see, hit me with a hook, I was like, I don't want to fucking, you've had a punch that it didn't rock you, it hurt. Like it felt like you just got smacked in the face with a brick. Your whole face stings. I was like, I don't want to do that again. And then Isaiah goes, I hear him go, and he turns around because I hit him directly in the nose. Thank God, his weak spot. He's like Achilles. Because I was laying into him, and at first I was like, I'm doing nothing, brother. I don't look stupid. But I hit him in the nose, and he like turns around and does that. And I was like, I turn around like, my badass thing. I was like, man, I'm going to cry in the bathroom or something, because that shit hurt like a motherfucker. But, so I had gotten into a fight with a bunch of Mexicans. I told you I love them, okay? And I did not start the fight. I told you guys about, the listeners about Turtle, and how Turtle always liked to talk shit. So, up at Luis's house, there was a Hispanic dude, Luis. He had a white mom. No father, which is crazy. It's the only time I've ever seen that in a Mexican household. But Luis is out there with his other friends. They are SR13 members. So, here's the thing. If you are around Mexican gang members, 9 times out of 10, if you don't do anything, there's not going to be a situation. Turtle's drunk ass walks up and he was just like, man, I bet y'all feel at home playing soccer. And I was like, man, look, good joke, not around a bunch of drunk gang members. Like, not
the time.
The place.
Yep.
So I had this moped that leaked gas, like it didn't have a gas cap on it. And I was trying to figure out what was wrong, which is stupid because I can't do that. Like, especially at that point, I couldn't do that. But I was trying to figure out what was wrong. It didn't have a gas cap on it. That wasn't the problem. Like, it didn't leak gas or anything like that. But I am like walking it around. It would start, I'll ride it a little bit. I was trying to be like, I'm trying to find out what's wrong with it, even though my trying to find out what was wrong with it was, I don't know, flooding it.
Started it?
Yeah, just flooding the engine. So Turtle and Brandon walk up. They're together. Turtle proceeds to say that. And then just another like racist Mexican joke. And I don't, because he tried to say he was picking, like he was playing around. But it just sounded angry. Like, it was like, I was like, God damn, where's this been hiding inside of you this whole time that you just hate Mexicans? Because our whole friend group, like, Luis was in it, Isaiah was in it. It's not like we were just all white kids hanging out. Like, it's a very, very friend group.
Yeah.
And he's like walking up. So Isaiah, which is, like I said, he can fight well. But he is also, man, just a great person to have around as a deterrent. Like, do you really want to fight us? Is our shit talking really getting to you? Look at this large black gentleman we have with us. I understand the effect he has on people, okay? So I'm like, I don't want to drop this moped. But they are obviously, and look, quite frankly,
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so, because I'm so taken aback. Like, it feels like a dream, because even Brandon's like, what the fuck are you saying, dude? I don't know if he was trying to pick and play, or he just had some hate in his heart that he had to get out. But I'm like, I don't want to put this moped down. It doesn't have a kickstand either. So I'm trying to like, I'm trying to lean. Do you know Peter and the Frog on Family Guy? I'm trying to lean this fucking moped against this trailer, and it's just like the greasiest trailer. It looks like it's flat land, but you know, in a trailer park, it's all confusing, and you don't know if you're actually on an incline or a decline. But it's just not. I would lean it against it, and it would roll down, and I'm like, how is this happening? Like, what is the fucking physics that's making this happen? And I'm sitting there just because I'm going to deter it at first. So this fat kid Stomper, he was the first to strike. Funny thing about Stomper is he came and worked for me when I was a supervisor at the box shop I was a supervisor at. And he was like real cool about it. And he remembered me too. I'm like, that's crazy because I have like a full big beard. And he was just like, yeah, you were from the trailer park. Trailer hood, we called it. It was we felt cool saying it, but
That's cool.
yeah, but it's like a white kid thing that it's the trailer hood. Like that is, you would find that cool.
Like one of my buddy calls it a trouse. I think it's hilarious.
Every responsible adult that had like a crazy upbringing, like where they did a bunch of drugs and psychedelics, but still like grew up and was like, it's time for me to grow up. You know what I'm saying? They said things like trailer hood. That's how I felt. I didn't feel like it was like my thing, but I still call it a trailer hood because that's where everybody in school knew what it was.
You know, the last time that I did psychedelics, me and my two buddies that I did it with, you know, were in our late 30s. And the funniest thing about the whole experience was we sat there and laughed because we're now the adults.
Right.
We are the responsible adults. And like, we just could not stop laughing. They're like, no, we're not.
I would never.
We are.
I would
No,
never.
we're not.
Like you guys, if I would have been there with you, I'd have been screaming and panicking. I'm not at the place mentally to do psychedelics, but B, and just be like, we're all adults. And I'd just be like, yeah, we're all responsible. Dylan's just like looking at, because you know, you overthink when you're on psychedelics and you're just sitting there like,
Well, that was the thing is like one of the things that got me like laughing about that so much is just, you know, thinking back to, it was me and my sister, we were in our trailer house. It was a double wide. We had upgraded.
Chuck all the trouse.
I didn't know about that until just a couple years ago when my buddy was talking about his trouse. But no, we were in my sister's room and we were smoking cigarettes out her window. And then all of a sudden my dad like came in, and I don't know whether we had already put the cigarette out or we just threw it. Like somehow we did not have the cigarette at that very second. But he's like, were you guys smoking in here? And we're like, no, we weren't.
He's like, I can't smell it at all because I also smoke, right?
No, like he didn't smoke, and like that's why.
Oh fuck yeah! Well,
And like they didn't smoke in the house, and we're sitting there smoking out of our window, and so like that was what I was laughing about while I was tripping. Though I was like, he fucking knew, like he just didn't want to fuck with us. Like he was like, he's like, were you smoking? And we said no, and he didn't want to like.
But it's the dad way of saying like, hey, this is wrong, but you're also, you know, I'm not going to fucking allow it.
Yeah.
But I also know that you're going to do. That's why I liked being poor, man, because my parents smoked in the house, and then I was with my brothers. Of course, we all smoked in the house, and then I get with Amy, and she's like, you can never. I'm just like, and she's like, you can never, under any circumstance, ever fucking smoke in the house. And I'm like, you smoke cigarettes, and she's since gone to vaping, which. Oh, fuck
yeah, you can vape in that.
Queen of the castle. Like, you can do yours, but your stink. Yours smells like an inhaler. So,
well, see, that was the funny thing is we went from the single wide. My parents definitely smoked in that. Went to the double wide. No. We're classy people, man. We don't smoke there. And then when we moved down here to North Carolina, we lived in this little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house with no AC, and so. My dad still wasn't smoking cigarettes, but me and my mom were smoking cigarettes, and we just smoked in the house again. And then I think we got to a point where I think my dad finally came off working on the road, and so then he was in the house, and I think we didn't smoke in the house anymore. And then once I bought my house, it was no smoking from there. But and like one of my rental houses, the one.
Oh, now we gotta be fancy people.
Yeah, one of my first rental that I had when I was like 20. Didn't smoke in that one, but then the next one was at like near UNCG, and that thing was just like, I think the whole front yard was an ashtray, like it was sand, and then thousands of cigarette butts.
Hell yeah, you walk inside and you look at the walls and they're yellow and you're like, my people
That
have
was
been.
a-
You just rub it. My ancestors have been here.
We-
my kind has been in here.
We had like my buddy Brandon played a show, and we had the after party there. It was like a movie. Like there was literally like 200 people in our little frat house that wasn't a frat house. It was fucking chaos.
Right.
There was one of our roommates. There was me and Brandon that lived there, and we took all of our valuable, expensive shit and just stuck it in the other guy's room because he wasn't coming home to sleep that night anyway. So we just like took TVs and guitars and all the like game systems and movies and everything was just packed into this fucker's room because he wasn't going to come home. We locked that up, and then the rest of it was just fucking
Smart,
chaos.
because how many house parties have you went to where the owner immediately regrets having a house party where he invited people he did not know? And
well, that's the thing with me and by UNCG though. We invited, like, they had the show. Most of the people going to those shows are friends that, like, I mean, yes, there's some random people that are like, oh, I love this band. But for the most part, it's like all friends. Like, oh, we love Brandon and we want to support him. So that was the bulk of everybody. But since it was down at UNCG, like, it was just one of those things where if there was something going on and people were walking through the neighborhood, they'd be like, oh, let's just stop at this party. And so people would just be walking in.
Fuck yeah.
And so, like, our whole front yard had probably like 100 people in it, and then all through the house, and then a fire in the back. And it was just...
you ever been to a party you were not accepted at?
Oh, yeah.
Where you walk in, they're like, who the fuck are these guys? And I'm just like, look, I respect it because I'm like responsible guy, but you also feel super embarrassed because then the whole party stops and you all like, you guys fucking lost or whatever. And then one guy's like, well, Dave said I could be there. He's like, who the fuck is Dave? Like, who the fuck? And they're like, Rick's friend? And like, Rick, your fucking friends invite people over to my fucking house. And I'm like, bro, we should probably just get out of here.
We actually were just about to leave. We were
So Anthony is Turtle's brother, and I told you they're night and day different. Like Ant's really calm, doesn't want to fight. So we go over to a guy's house, and I'm gonna get back to the fucking Mexican story. Yeah, Isaiah story in a second. So we go over to this one guy's house, and Ant, I don't know how much alcohol he was consuming, but he was talking to this girl, and he fancied this girl, and I guess
Danielle?
no. I guess during this, no, this is already different whole city I live in now. This is after.
Fun to circle back to Danielle.
I think this is after my first senior year where I dropped out, and then, I go to jail, and I'm like, I got to turn my life around, which was the best thing because I was like, I told the judge, I was like, yeah, I got to get back to school. And he was like, you do, young beautiful white child. You do have to go back to school. I do feel like if I was black in that scenario, he'd be like, yeah, school. You go to school? Well, the school of thug life, probably not. But he was just like, look at this beautiful, cute white child. Listen, I've sat in court and I've seen a white woman who stole all sorts of TVs and stuff like that. And he's just like, the judge is sitting there and he was just like,
I know you.
That's what any mother would have done. I was like, meat and shit. That's what moms, they don't fucking do all this. And then a black guy who fucking... we got into a fight. He's like, you guys are just always out there angry, aren't you? Always. Let's see. You've not done anything. So this is the start of your violent spring of crimes. Like the mom, he's just like rattling off all this shit that she's done. And she's like, you're just out here trying so hard to feed your kids because you were a single mom. Man, be beautiful.
It's just so tough for you.
But I digress. Okay, so we go over to the house and he is drinking a copious amount. So I was distracted because this girl... Listen, I am a guy who I will listen. Big girls are not off the menu, okay? They are firmly on the menu for me. But I was in mic mode. That's what I call like top of my game. I was in mic mode, and I was talking to another girl that was there. So this girl obviously was heavily infatuated with me. So this is like I said, the first time I went to my senior year. So I dropped out because I'm like too cool for school or whatever. And I would do things my own way and find a job, which I could not. And I think she was also in like 10th grade. And I was like, that's, too big of an age gap for me. I'm going after this woman who was just, I guess, a senior in school. I think she's like 4 months older than I am. But so I am in the process of talking up Turtle to this girl who is just like, I want to have sex with you right now. Like she is saying it and like grinding up on me, and I pushed her off. Because it doesn't work that well hitting on another girl if you have another girl, trying to flirt with you.
Yeah.
So, and I am talking about Turtle like he is a vehicle of sex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, my man Turtle here. I mean, I ain't seen a girl, honestly, that's came out of the same room with him that wasn't just absolutely fucking satisfied. Bro was just like a Casanova. It's so hard to beat women off of him, which is true. I had never seen him come out of the door with any female. I've never seen him get a girl. So I was just like, he is. And I'm talking him up too, because I know, like, I think he had, at this point, I had known him for a year and a half, and I had never seen a girl be interested in him. Mm-hmm. And eventually, he does get with her, and they have a job together now. He does meth and shit. He's fucking lost his way and went down a bad path. But I digress once again. You're welcome, buddy. I gave you the kid that you never cared about. So I'm in the process of doing that. I look over, and Anthony, once again, chill guy, doesn't know altercations. Everybody's this guy's friend. Mm-hmm. He is, for some reason, going Hadouken and doing a jumping uppercut, punching holes in this guy's ceiling. Ooh. Yeah, he's outside. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure when he sees this, he is going to have a little bit of a problem with it. Now, this is back during the night era, so we have fucking everybody with us. Like we're like 15 deep and hanging out. So he comes in. He's actually friends with our friend Nate. Nate, how do I describe him? He was like a pretty boy. Mm-hmm. Dumb as a box of rocks. I love him. I think he did turn his life around because he got into drugs, but he turned his life around. Found God. I don't know, how much that means to somebody else. We found God and turned his life around. All right. Good for him. So him and Nate come in and they start punching holes in the wall too. And I'm just like, does he own, like he doesn't, like he rents out the house. I was like, he does. I was like, obviously this is like a roommate situation. Nope, just rents out the house. And they're all just punching holes in the walls. And I'm like, so I'm going over there and like, guys, this is something we're going to regret the next day, right? Because I told you I don't like to drink. So sometimes I'll have taken 1 or 2 shots and I'm the responsible guy who's supposed to watch if Turtle takes too much blood pressure medication because someone sold it to him as Klonopin. Like, I feel like I'm the responsible one right now. So I'm sitting there talking to Nate. This one guy comes in. He's since passed away. I'm not going to mention his name, but somebody had taken his cocaine. So he's like, will y'all help me search for it? He is not a friend. I do not know him. One of my friends then alert me that he actually has it. He did take it, and he's already done some of it. So I proceed, because this guy is very upset about it. I was like, I'm going to help you look around for it, okay? So I help him look around for it. I know where his coke is. Mm-hmm. It is firmly within my friend's pocket. I think they're in the bathroom doing it. So we're outside. I'm fucking flashlight in the yard. I think this is before, phones had real good flashlights on. Flashlight in the yard. Well, did you walk away from it? He was like, I think I went to the convenience. I was like, maybe he's at a convenience store, brother. I'm too drunk to drive over there. And he's just like, fuck, man. Like, he's upset about it, which I would be.
Rightfully so.
Right. So I'm helping them look for it, and somebody comes up to me, and they're like, ants on top of the water tower. I'm like, what? What do you mean ants on top of the water tower? So the girl that he was talking to did not fancy him back. And he just couldn't find love, man. And he was done, brother. He was just, fucking, nobody cares about me. My rap career ain't taking off. And I'm like, well, brother, I don't think people know about your rap career. I don't think you guys are promoting like you should if you did, because I am not going up. That once we get to heights, and the water tower's up there. So we have obviously people's going up there. Nate goes up there, which I'm like, you're not going to help. Well, you joined in with him when he was fucking Hadouken. And the next day he was just like, that's why I don't touch tequila. And I was like, isn't drunk just drunk? Like, I've never drank alcohol and was like, this is a different kind of drunk.
It is weird. Like, I mean, not that I think that it's like fully.
I'm gonna grab some water real quick.
Not that I think that it's fully like specific. I know a lot of people have different reactions to different kinds of liquor, but I know there are certain liquors when I've drank it, I've been more emotional versus more violent. My more violent one was rum. I would get definitely more aggressive with clear rum was my.
I think people just get drunk and then they react to whatever feeling they're having right then, because Amy, when she drinks tequila, either she is a seductress who is about to take my soul violently with her vagina, or she's gonna punch me in the face.
Yeah.
And then violently take my soul with her vagina.
Well, but see that's also like she just has the one and she just does that one. Like it's not like she.
Yeah, but it's like different.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll get sad.
What I'm saying though is like, yes, if you drink the same one over and over again, your feelings will kind of adjust. Like if you're kind of sad,
I wonder if there's science behind it.
I don't know that there's science, but like, I mean, I've definitely seen people that like when they drink vodka, it's like a shit show of a night. But if they were to just drink whiskey, they're fine.
When I was like 9 years old, we went to a campsite in High Rock Lake. Knock-Knocks. I try to remember the name. Knock-Knocks. It was an old, I think it's been since closed down, or ownership's been changed and they call it something else.
Yeah.
But country people, if we learned that was the name, that's the name forever.
Well, yeah, just like you call ramen oodles and noodles.
Yeah.
And
And
you've never called it anything else.
the Speedway by my grandma's house is the Surf Code because that's what it originally was. Then it became Wilco, then it became a Hess, then it became Speedway.
But it's still surf.
Still Surf Code. Or Hess. Because a lot of when I moved back down with my brothers, we just called it the Hess because that's what it was. You can't keep changing your name. I'm just going to call it what it was.
Yeah.
But what the fuck was I talking about?
The different liquors and why people like act different.
Before then.
I mean, we're talking about Isaiah stories, and I don't think you made.
Oh, fuck, that was yeah. So, all right, I'm going to finish this story, then we're going to wrap up because it's been I feel like a decently.
It's 11:31 at night.
What time did we start this?
We got here at 9. I think you.
So this is almost a 2-hour long episode.
Yeah.
So like I said, the moped. Should I start from the beginning? I don't know if people have retained the story that we just got.
You could, as long as you cliff note it.
All right. So the cliff notes. My friend Luis, he has some SR13 members there, and Turtle walks up and is trying to pal around, but is just saying racist things in an aggressive tone, and we don't know what's going on. Also, I told y'all guys, Turtle was a very aggressive person. Like you breathe, and he took that, he took that with offense. Like he is at the drop of a hat, he is ready to throw down and cannot fight a lick. So I'm trying to set the moped up. They're walking up. As they're walking up, Turtle takes off running, which is literally the least Turtle thing he's ever done. Because I'm, Five Guys, he's literally Randy from South Park.
Yeah.
I thought this was America. I'm not done with you yet. After getting fucking pummeled, bro, he will stand up and be like, where are you going, puff pussy? And I was like, brother, what? Like, you are getting clobbered. That's one thing, too. If, like, my friends having a one-on-one, we generally accept the one-on-one rules.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
Sometimes. We'll be like, yeah, come on down here and have a one-on-one with them. Come on, see if you don't get beat up. Now, if you start it, that's a different thing. Turtle, not a lot of people were jumping in turtle fights because...
Well, as long as he's getting his ass kicked for something that he deserves to get his ass kicked for, like, then that's, just he asked for it, so he gets it. Like,
I did it. Fuck, man. See, there's so many stories I have with Turtle that...
But no, we're on Isaiah.
Right. Next podcast.
Are we in the second Isaiah story?
No.
It was third.
This is
still the first.
This is the Isaiah story, though. Next podcast episode, I'll talk about the time that I sack-tapped Turtle at a fucking party with Randleman kids who went to Randleman High School, and then proceeded to have to pull a gun out on people. And I don't own a gun. Shout out Jimbo for handing me the gun. He was like, this is my mama's gun. But I'll tell that story, because that one is hilarious.
Oh, now we're leaving cliffhanger?
Yeah, we're going to leave cliffhangers on this one. But I'll tell the Isaiah story. So I'm trying to set the moped up on the side of the trailer. They're all walking up. He takes off immediately. There's this fat one Stomper, just decks Brandon. Now, Brandon says he's not a fighter. He's a lover. He is not a fighter. We don't expect you to be anything. If people say, Mike has hands, which, back then when mixed martial arts wasn't a thing, I did. You could consider me having hands. If today someone was like, yeah, my boy's an MMA fighter, he trains in, Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a little bit of Muay Thai, Thai boxing, I'm going to be like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, no, don't have.
Also, I'm just probably not going to get into a fight regardless because I'm like, I got 20 seconds of just backing up, I'm going to get tired. But Brandon's not a fighter, so he gets hit by a Stomper. I got to jump in. So right now, it is, I'm going to name off all their names too. It was Chucky, Stomper, fuck, I can't remember the other guy, and Luis. Now, Luis is not fighting. He is, I don't know if he's trying to like play into it, but he is being aggressive. Or acting aggressively, which I get it. Because, once again, he's also a lover, not a fighter. And he has a baby. So, they're Chucky and Stomper are primarily the two people fighting Brandon. So I jump in and look, Mike got a little bit of footwork. I still to this day, all right? And I can look good stylishly doing it. I know enough, especially if somebody doesn't know anything. You know, you get out there, you do a little bit of footwork, you got some fucking, you know how to fucking, you know, how wide you got to spread your legs, you know, fucking shifting back and forth. So I'm like sitting there and just jabbing Stomper. And he is intoxicated. So if you are completely sober versus 3 intoxicated guys, you're going to look good. It's 3 drunk guys. They fucking really don't know what they're doing. So the first one to come up was my brother, Justin. I think he was, he's at some picnic tables. I wish you knew the layout. Because it's like 3 trailers and then it's Jonathan's house. And he's friends with Jonathan. They were like the part where they were thick as thieves, the time they were really close. So he's over at the picnic tables and he's already run up and he has like this little wooden baseball bat that's probably like that long. And as I'm fighting Stomper, I don't realize there's 3 people. I can't keep my eyes on everybody at the same time. And also, I'm just like kind of clowning Stomper right now.
Well, and they take turns, right? You can only fight one person at a time, and the other guy just.
It really, really felt like that too. Because, like I said, as I'm like standing there with Chucky and Stomper, my shift really turns to Stomper. I don't know what the other 2 are doing, if they're like just like hyping up, being aggressive, or they're like, because they talked about Stomper like he could fight. We would find out that he could not fight. Drunk story aside. So I'm sitting there, I'm punching Stomper, and the next thing I know, I turn around and the whole neighborhood's coming up, and everybody has weapons in their hands. I'm talking about, right?
It's like Trailer Park Boys.
No, it's like The Longest Yard where the black people walk up, but it's all white people, just rednecks, moms, all sorts of shit. Just tire irons, all this shit. And
so
then
we're like Anchorman when all
yeah. So except for if they all came at one time, except for my fat ass middle brother who does not have a shirt on and is playing a guitar, and he cannot play. So he's like, bow, bow, bow. He's just like walking across the field strumming it. He's like, there's no anticipation. Like he's not. There's no. He's just calm as a cucumber, just walking up playing a guitar. So I don't know this, but. Chucky goes inside and he grabs a steak knife because he's just like, I'm gonna stab this motherfucker. And I did not know that. So when he comes out with it, he's on some like Michael Myers shit. I was told this after the fight that he got like within, I want to say 4 or 5 feet from me with the Michael Myers gesture going to stab me. And my brother hit his fucking forearm with the baseball bat and knocked it out of his hand. And then somebody just ran up and grabbed the knife. Also, too, all those people walk up, I'm still fighting 2 people. I don't know how this is a thing. I'm still fighting 2 people. They are insanely drunk, and I look good, man. Like, and people won't, like the Dusty story, Dusty's big as fuck. He's also drunk. Like, that is a big thing. People cannot fight. You think you can fight when you're drunk. You cannot fight. You are not no drunken masters. It's not what's happening. So, Isaiah finally shows up. Now, I might be friends with Isaiah. Brandon's his best fucking friend. Like, they have grown up together since kids. So he hears what Stomper did. Now, Stomper and them had transitioned somewhere on up the road. I don't know why. I guess because there's a whole bunch of people. Everybody's mad because he tried to stab me. And they're like, y'all need to get the fuck out of here. That's not cool. I think it was Brandon's dad, which is like the chillest motherfucker ever. And you can be like, I can understand fighting with your hands, but once you bring out knives and shit, like, he's like, y'all get the fuck on. And he's pretty drunk himself, too. He's like, y'all get the fuck out of here. We fight with our hands down here like men. We don't pull out no goddamn weapon, so y'all go home until y'all can come back like men. Isaiah wasn't good with that. So he drives up, and right now it's only Stomper. I don't know what happened to the other 2. But they're walking up the road, and I did not witness this personally. Isaiah just gets out of the car. Stomper's like, what? And as soon as got out of his mouth, Isaiah knocks him out cold, completely. One singular punch. So the day is ended, which usually involves everybody drinking more alcohol.
Yeah, everybody parties.
That's one thing, man. We had an unlimited amount of Percocets because there was Gary, he got prescribed Percocets, and then there was another guy in the neighborhood that was dying of cancer, and he got a fuck ton of Percocets. And he was just like, they made my belly hurt a little bit. You kids want them? And I was like, oh, what's the old man? So the next day.
Your butthole to get the Percocets?
No. It wasn't like no. What's so fucking funny is my brother's ex-girlfriend. She used to be a prostitute, good start, all right? But she would go over there and clean up for him, and what my brother didn't know is he would pay her extra money for her to show him his titties, give him a little handy hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm breaking up with you now that. this has been. Because she just told us, she was like, yeah, sometimes, I got to show them my titties and give them hand jobs. I was like, what? No, that's not cool. So, that fun way to end your relationship. But everybody's sleeping it off. Those guys or I think it was just Stomper that came back. I don't know what happened to the other two. To this day, I can't tell you. I know they're alive, but I don't know if they left Stomper. He was being crazy. Because he was still wanting to fight too, and I had already pieced him up. Like, he had cuts on his face, lumps on his face. Isaiah, they said it hit him like square jaw, neck, because Isaiah's hands are massive. Jaw, neck, put him to sleep. So the next day, everybody in the neighborhood wakes up, and Zach comes over, the shady Zach I told you about. He was friends with Luis. They ended up getting into a boxing match because Zach's not a singular person on earth likes this guy. To this day, I can tell you, nobody has liked this guy, ever liked this guy. If he is unfortunately deceased, I'm sorry. Bro was a dick to everybody and just conniving, like the most conniving dude I've ever met. I know John. He comes over and he was like, yeah, about last night, Stomper wants his rematch. And I'm like, fuck, really? All right. He's like, no, with Isaiah. I was like, what? He wants his with that Isaiah? Did he wake up and start drinking? He's like, no, he's sober. He wants his rematch sober. And I was like, all right, go over there and tell him the white guy is Michael, the black guy is Isaiah. All right? The big black guy's name is Isaiah. I think he's getting them mixed up right now. And he's like, no, he wants to fight Isaiah. So we all go outside, and once again, I'm trying to wrap my head around what has just happened. And he was like, nah, me and you had a fair fight. I'm like, kind of, you were drunk, I wasn't. He was like, me and you had a fair fight. I didn't know he was going to punch me. I was like, yeah, but he's going to punch you now.
And you felt when
right, yeah. Well, he didn't feel it. He was immediately asleep, like knocked unconscious. Several minutes, they told. Like, they had a roll. He was making sounds like he was going to die.
Snort.
But I'm just like, you look at him, because last time you didn't know he was going to punch you. Now you know he's going to punch you, and he punches hard. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't think I've also told this key fact about Stomper. Stomper probably comes up to my titty, his head.
He's that little?
He's stocky as fuck. Like, he's fat. But if someone saw him, they wouldn't be like, that's a fat guy. They'd be like, oh, man, that's a
stocky.
Like a grandma would call him healthy, husky. I don't know. But whatever.
But small.
His friends say he hits really hard. I'm like, how do you hit Isaiah?
Yeah, like, you can't even reach up to his jaw.
And they rematched. He lasted probably 30 seconds longer than when he got knocked out. And he still kind of got knocked out. If your legs buckle,
you fold. Yeah.
So he goes up and he's hitting Isaiah and the stomach or chest, whatever, and Isaiah uppercuts him. He Power Ranger poses it just there was nothing left in him. And he goes to get up and he's just like a baby deer, and then he Power Ranger poses again. I'm like, is that his trying to gather himself stance that he just because one leg kind of bends perfectly to the side parallel, and he's just Power Ranger posing, and his head's like a bobblehead every time he does it. And he's just like, see, that's a fair fight. And he just goes inside. And I'm like,
I mean, you got to respect him for that. At least, he tried.
And I was like, do you see the size of this man that you were?
Well, honestly, yeah, he didn't want to end it on just straight up one punch and done. He held it. He didn't hold his own, as in kept it going, but he at least took a couple hits and was able to say that's a fair fight.
Brandon lost his mind when his dad died, man, because Brandon was one of those guys where I like to think of myself as witty, but you're talking about the exact moment he could say something, he knew how to he just knew how to do it. He'd always fuck with people. But it was always he could fuck with somebody, a random stranger, and the random stranger would know that he was just that good at fucking with people.
Yeah.
And charismatic.
I know some of the most country people are the biggest shit talkers that are just so fucking sharp.
But loving about it.
But they can just jab.
Since birth, you're taught. Everybody's talking shit playfully.
Yeah.
All right. And here's the thing too, is the older generation, they fucked with each other, and then they fucked with their, they fucked with their kids, and now they see their grandkids coming up. So they understand. They've seen kids say not good comebacks, but they're still going to hype that up. And also too, if you live in the country and you are about to fight in front of an old person, and that fight isn't taking place, as soon as it becomes apparent you two are going to fight, you are both pussies. I mean, it has to happen. Like, drop the hat as soon, because as soon as you're like, oh, you're a bitch, are you bitches going to fight? Or y'all going to sit there and jaw like women? That's our old people. So you got to learn, you got to know how to talk shit and just kind of be quick with it. But Brandon's like sitting over there and he's like, yeah. He's like, he don't want none of Mike, but he wanted you. I was like, you a bitch. That's why. He was like, I smell bitch on him. And he was like, you want to box right now? Brandon be like, no, not at all. And he's like, not at all. He's like, why don't you go box Mike? He's like, I will. I was like, listen, I'm here to have fun. Like, I don't want to win or lose. I want to hurt. I don't want to do this at all.
Yeah, there's no win for the end of that, no matter how it plays out.
So I forgot what. He got to some altercation when I got kicked out of school. I was dating a girl.
Isaiah did? Or?
No, I didn't. I got
You
kicked out of
said
school.
altercation.
No. Isaiah got to an altercation.
That's what I was going to say.
But there was this guy. There was this girl I was dating. This was like the first time I was like, you're really trying to get my life together. Come on, adult.
A stand-up.
Yeah, a stand-up guy. But this kid was talking shit. He's once again deceased. I don't like the name anymore, unless they're a dickhole.
True crime.
Right. Yeah. True crime. But he had talked some shit to me because he was very infatuated with her, and she was like, he had those like the time. Like, I'm not saying, look, women don't care if your penis is small. If you have a ridiculously tiny penis and then like you say something along the lines of, yeah, that's why you're getting my sloppy seconds, that's when people are gonna pick on you, bro. Like, she was like, sloppy seconds for a pinky, bro. She was like, really. I wasn't mad at the guy or anything like that. So he already didn't like him. Isaiah was that dude. Like, if he knew you have problems with somebody, he's not friends with that person. Like, we're not friends. He wants to make that clear that they're not friends. So he already didn't like the kid. But one night they're at a fucking speedway and the dude comes from an affluent family. His grandma died. He got a lot of money. So everybody knew this. One night, he's just like one of those white kids who want to play gangster. You know, got a lot of gangster rap going on. They stop at a Sheetz and he runs up with his hand in his pocket, like, give me all your money, to Isaiah, who is from the hood. Isaiah's like, if somebody comes up and they don't have, because that's the first thing they're going to show you is the scary thing. So he immediately just like pulls off the shit and is like, bro, like, we go to the same school. Like, you have parents that love you. Like, what are you doing? So he fucking takes off running. So they're at school and he goes up to her and he's like, to my girlfriend, he's like, record this for Mike. And as there's no delay or nothing. He just walks right up to him and just drops him right there. Folds him like a pancake too, man. I'm telling you, motherfucker could hit so goddamn hard. Could hit, I mean, harder than anybody ever. And once again, Isaiah, if you ever watch this, see this, I hope you're doing good, bud. He got into a unfortunate circumstance. Once again, for some people, it is hard to get out of that life and end up shooting and killing somebody. So he did go to prison. I think it was proven that it was some kind of self-defense. Usually if you kill somebody and it's not self-defense, then you don't get out. But everything that we got told, you know, we had very unreliable sources that he had just gotten to some gang beef. We don't actually know the story. I don't actually, to this day, know the real story of what happened that night because only two people really know what happened. Technically, there's a third person, but I have never ever heard their side of the story. Also, a gang member too, and High Point. But something did happen that night. Isaiah did shoot and kill somebody. From what I learned, it was self-defense. He is out. He is trying to live a good life. So if he does see this, get on him, man. I hope you make it out of there, brother.
Yeah, those are those tough situations. I know we talked about it with the guy that got into the car accident, but like I think those are the things like where mistakes are made, and I don't think anybody's ever irredeemable. Like I think it's worse with like sexual things. Like I just feel like that's like when you subjugate somebody to that stuff, it's like that one's like more unforgivable. But like,
right, because you don't grow up you don't grow up with a neighborhood saying it's okay. Like, no neighborhood's like, yeah, you go around and assault a woman, be a pedophile. Everybody from birth, you hear from every single person, even people who believe in that stuff, they'll be like, hey, this is bad.
Well, and like with the gang stuff though, like it's typically the other party is. Like a drive-by shooting, innocent people. Yeah, that's like
That's because of
it's-
them,
it's
and that's why we got to get
but it's like
tougher. And we got to.
unforgivable, like to like hurt somebody that is completely innocent. But like with this situation, even if it wasn't like full-on self-defense, it was probably two people that have chosen this pathway, and this pathway has led to some unfortunate circumstances that have happened. But like your friend Isaiah could learn, like, I mean, obviously probably did.
That's what I'm saying. There's absolutely. That's why, like, I talk about unforgivable things, and then that's why I do. I'm not sitting here defending gang members, and I'm not saying someone who kills somebody needs to come. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if somebody grows up and everyone around them says this is the way, you grow up thinking that is the way. And I'm not saying it's all black people. I have seen. I'm from the hood where there is white people, black people, Mexicans. I'm saying if there's a certain way you go by, that is how you go by. It's the same stupid fucking reason Michael did not snitch on his brother when he went to jail for his brother calling in a bomb. He just didn't do it. Like, that was not a thing that people did.
Well, like coming from where I just was for my reunion, like I had a friend of mine who I was friends with literally from the time I was like fucking 4 or 5 years old. And I always considered him a friend. And like in general, like a very charismatic person, but just fucking went sideways in his teenage years. And like, even though he had other family members that like fucked up, did stupid shit, but course corrected, he never came out. Like, he just kept fucking going down that wrong path. And like, even though he was like one of the most charismatic people, that he had like hundreds of people that like loved him,
Right.
he could never pull himself back from being just a shit. And like, so it was like sad to like see that 20 years later, he's still doing the same fucking thing, like going completely off in the distant. Like, I don't know whether it was like, you know, psychosis or whatever that just he could never correct, but like, he had the bad examples, but there's plenty of other examples of people in the same exact scenario that he was in that corrected.
Right.
They found their way out. They, you know, for whatever reason, whether it's having a kid or whether it's meeting the right friend or like getting the right, you know, inspiration to pull themselves out of that life. This guy, and then there's like a couple other people that like you're like, oh, what's this guy up to? Like, he was a shit back then. Like, what's he? Oh no, he's still a shit. He's still fucking stealing from, you know, people's garages and going and hawking the shit for drug money and all this other stuff. And like, so it's weird to just see like your friend that, you know, he's more likely to have like pulled himself back, hopefully,
Right.
In the getting back into society, leaving, you know, prison and stuff behind. Hopefully, like, he's like, oh, that wasn't fucking worth it. Like, I took a life, and also like, over what? Because a lot of times those times after you look at it, you're like, I fucking killed somebody for nothing. Like, for nothing. Like, yes, it was a scary situation, but like, was it something where I needed to take somebody out, end their life, and then basically end mine too? Because there's no hope of a fucking job. There's no hope of like future. And like you said, it's the way that people paint it as like, this is life, but it doesn't have to be. Like, anybody can pull themselves out of those scenarios with the right inspiration, with the right like guidance.
I think the universal thing is, as long as it ain't, you know, my mom, my brothers, my sisters, my wife, or my kids, you know, if it's a good friend, you want to see, you know, justice and shit like that. Once it's a kid, like, I don't know why, like, it should be law. It's like, all right, well, we're gonna handcuff you. We hand right back. We're gonna let mom and dad into the room for, you know, 3 or 4 minutes, and then if you live, then we'll see what kind of prison time you get.
Yeah.
Because now it's just like, especially people who kill kids, they'll like fucking kill 4 or 5 kids, 4 or 5 women, and then be like, well, I'll tell you everything as long as you just give me life. I'm like, no, you die. Like, why do we got to pay for you forever?
See, and that's the hard part though. Is like, because ultimately, yes, the mother and father would like to like get their revenge, but also like that almost like takes away some of your humanity too. To like,
Fuck that shit. If it's my kid, take away my humanity. I'm gonna take away, because listen, a judge is not going through hell or high water. I don't know. I'm gonna find a way to kidnap you, even through jail. I will mastermind. I will dig holes,
get into jail,
secret tunnels. And the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rape you, because you can't ever, once you get as a guy, especially if he's a straight guy, like that was almost fucked up for me to say because gay people don't want to be raped either. Nobody wants to be raped, okay? Once you get raped, you don't get unraped. And then I'm going to kill him. I don't know why I would kill him, but in rape, I just be angry, okay? And I'm going to do angry things.
Maybe you don't kill them. You just keep bringing them to the edge.
Because like, yeah, just
Edging.
Yeah. I edge them with death with my rapes. Like if someone, I'd be like, rape was wrong. Like, what if I raped the person who killed my daughter? The man who killed my daughter. Because still with women, I don't know. The women can decide about that. They can argue. Well, we're talking about men right here. And once again, women podcasters, they'd be like, yeah, if a woman killed my rape, listen, a guy, I don't, because then you have to have them live with it. Because I was going to say you can't get unraped. But also I don't want him to live anymore. That's the conundrum.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean,
the only thing is killing somebody is just, sometimes it's just too quick for what they've done.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the advantages of life in prison is the endlessness of fucking nothing. But it is also like too humane in some, like it's such a catch-22 of like,
right,
imagine versus them sit there and
with a pedophile, okay? Imagine we had like a box in town, or no, we'll say a building in town, so kids who did not want to witness someone dying in there. But with the pedophiles, we just put them in this box, okay? And every minute, they're handcuffed with their hands behind their back. Every minute, the oxygen shuts off for 2 minutes and then comes back on. So you get a minute of breathing, 2 minutes of not breathing. Until you starve to death or die from whatever fucking hypoxia or whatever the shit that called. I am. Listen, I told you I'm writing horror stories. You got to do this shit. But I'm saying, like, if you had something like that and you put it on display where, you know what I'm saying?
I think you really got to get, like, I understand that this is all theoretical, but, like, you really got to get a scientist to be like, okay, well, this is the edge. And this is how we extend.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. Like, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Like, how long can I keep them going with the maximum taking away the air?
Well, and then what you do is intravenously give them nutrients so they don't they starve. Like they
because you don't want to leave anything in there that they can kill themselves with.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like if you are so unoxygenated.
But no, like when you get intravenous, like when you get IV or anything, there's no needle. It's a soft thing.
Yeah, but they can like pull that out or what? Listen, look.
You're not going to bleed to death from a needle.
Yeah, but they can wrap it around their neck. We don't want them doing this.
All I'm saying is that if you extend their life, they don't get to eat anything. They don't get like a feeding tube.
Give them a suppository. How about that? Every day, give them a suppository.
That would nutrient.
Don't fucking know. I don't know. But you don't want to give them anything in there because look, if you are so tormented enough that you beat your head against this glass wall that you kill yourself, like because you're going to hit your head, you're going to go unconscious, you're going to wake up, you're going to have to do it again and again and again. If that is what it takes for you to hate the environment that you're in so much, cool. I'm okay with that. I can sleep at night happy about what is going on. But you're right, though. I would go to a doctor. We'd have scientists. Okay, so it'd be humane. There's scientists here. Duh. We would see how long, what is the maximum time we can withhold oxygen and the minimum time of giving them oxygen where they're still going to survive. Okay. And then any doctor that's like, why would we get that guy out of here? I want the doctor that wants science. So he's like, yes, I scientifically need to know the answer to this.
See, and this is where like being 100% proof positive that this person is the guilty party is the crucial piece to this puzzle. Is like, for a fact, there's no deniability. Like there's no chance that this could be the wrong person. It has to be 100. These types of punishments are reserved specifically for these people where there's no fucking possibility of doubt that this person is the person that perpetrated this crime.
Right, because once again, like you got the Duke lacrosse team, you have people that are accused of these crimes who then we would here's the thing though, because you're arresting a lot less people. There's a lot less pedophiles right now because they understand what happens to them if they act on it. Then they're like, fuck, I get stuck in the box. That's what I call it, just the box. That's it. Because the box, if you call it
be the gauntlet. Like,
no, you don't give it a name. No, because here's the thing.
I'm saying that it doesn't end with like there's not just because there's so many other great tactics to use that this is just one of the options. Like basically there's this smorgasbord.
No, see with transport and then different things like you
you run the risk of them.
You're deciding to poke holes in my side. I did not poke holes
Yes,
in yours.
correct.
Like what I'm saying with like giving them the nutrients is like how far can you extend it so that they don't just starve to death. They don't just like feel the starving and then they continue to live because their body can still survive with the nutrients that you're giving them. And so then you extend that
I just don't want to clean up poop though.
There won't be really poop though, like because it's just like literally nutrients, no food, no solids, no nothing,
Right.
And it's in the box, and so you can it can be a disposable box that you just get.
I wonder if there's like a mist that could be let out.
Actually, you just entune them in the box, so then you get this.
Oh, so they can't even move and bang their head against it.
But then there's a monument of the people.
And the box is just over their head.
Almost like Legos of these things that like as people like you know how like they used to hang them like hang say a pirate like in Pirates of the Caribbean like you'd see them as you came in like pirates aren't allowed here. You'd have the same thing of pedophiles of just like you go to the monument of pedophiles and like these people have all went through this and so you never have to clean up the piss and shit. They're just like entombed in this box. But what I'm saying though is you can then have a gauntlet of different concepts. That's one. And they kind of like roll the dice of what they get. They could get that one. They could get.
Here's the fun thing because there are like a lot of inhumane things. Like you can, for instance, strap somebody down to something and have water drip on their forehead. Just because, after a while it's going to hurt super fucking bad. But yeah, it essentially like drives them insane. But imagine because I like the entombed with just the thing over their head because now you can't bang your head against nothing. Your head's still, you just go without oxygen.
Just cutting off the oxygen.
Yep. Yeah. It cuts off the oxygen, brings back the oxygen. That's it. But every 7 days, what I would do is I'd have somebody come into the room with all of them and be like, look, a law has just been passed. We are so sorry that all of you had to go through this. We're going to let you go. There are going to be paperwork in the back that you can file for all the wrongdoings that were done here. Well, we don't know if you're going to be sent to an institution or something like that, a rehab facility, and then they just leave and not come back until the next week. That's it. They wouldn't even say, hi, it's a joke, just leave and not come back, because that's going to make time tick like fucking...
Or you go ahead and like that's when they switch stations of like, oh yeah, no, sorry guys, and then you just move them to the next station of fucking torment and like okay, yeah, so just go ahead and go in this room and we're getting everything processed. We'll get you out of here as soon as possible. And then you just get into the other room, and then like if somebody was in like the the water dripping, now all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, just could you put your head in this box for
I gotta write one of these just a note down for the scary.
Yeah. But like, yeah, just could you we need to get your picture taken just to get the evidence, and then that's when they put their head in the box and then get closed in for that oxygen deprivation.
I'm gonna spoil them on kind of how my brain works, okay? So this is how my brain works. So we're talking about these, and I'm thinking of like good punishments for people. So I was thinking about one where something happened with standing or squatting or something like that. And I'm like, that would be really hard to get somebody to do like that with. And the whole story literally just came to me right now. But the scary story is going to be about a man. He is like frolicking through sunflowers. He feels the sunflowers hitting him. And then he remembers a time where him and his niece used to go frolic through the sunflowers and stuff. And then it goes through like, him at his niece's funeral. And he now knows that he'll never be able to go back out to the sunflowers and frolic. And he never thought that he was going to until the day her dad found out about what he did to his niece. And without, he comes to his house and silently, without a word, puts a gun to his head and pulls the trigger. And now he is sitting here. And I want to talk about the joints in his knees, have eroded, the tendons in his ankles have all snapped. He's essentially frolicking in pain. The vertebrae in his back from doing it, he can feel as they disintegrate and form together with each other. And he's been doing this for 31 years, and it's become painfully clear to him that he's going to be doing this for the rest of eternity. So that's going to be one of the ones that I do. So you got to paint it, and I like to do it. I enjoy twists, but also some, like that Night Story, there's no real twist in it, the one I told you earlier. Because here's the thing, if you make everything a twist, people will be like, oh, well, what's the...
Yeah, wait for the twist.
Or they'll be like, oh, I'm so let down from that twist. So I like to do, that's why
sometimes the anticipating a twist and there never being a twist is the twist.
Right.
Like sometimes the no twist is actually a twist because you are anticipating like, oh, this is definitely the way that the story is going to go, and then by it not.
What was that movie with the two dads who had the daughters disappear and they're like, this guy's a pedophile?
Oh, I can't.
And the whole movie you're waiting for, and he is part of it. Yes, he was part of it. So you were like, oh, there's going to be some crazy twist somewhere. It's like, no.
Nope.
Yep, they were looking in the right direction. This was one movie I hate is the fucking Lovely Bones, bro. And my wife would be like, you got to read the book. And I was like, I just watched that atrociousness of a movie, okay? Because it's just like, do you want to watch something sad with no hope of anything ever being happy? And you're like, no, but do you want to see Mark Wahlberg and Dakota Fanning in a movie where you think there's going to be some kind of resolution or
What did you
comeuppance?
say? It's Lonely Bones?
The Lovely Bones.
The Lovely Bones. Right?
It's where that dude like digs a bunker in a field. It shows you all this, and then he rapes and kills Dakota Fanning, the daughter, Mark Wahlberg's daughter. And the movie is her trying to talk to her dad through the fucking the wall of being a ghost, the ghostly realm, the ghostly veil.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible movie.
It is not good. And he was like, just read the books. And he's like, oh, does like something, and he's like, she's like, no, but it's more beautiful. I'm like, gay.
Yeah.
No, I don't ever want to be a book where it's like, and the child rapist got away. If you're like this, there's a serial killer who's like masterminding shit.
Did you get another idea?
Yeah, it's going to be a guy who is inspecting a note from a serial killer, and then he's going to look upon his kid. This is horror, I'm sorry, and it's not supposed to be the greatest thing ever, but he's looking at his kid, a kid sleeping, you think that it's his kid, and then he watches the news about them trying to catch the serial killer, he goes back and looks at the note again, and then he's going to fold it up and put it in the envelope, and, I might in the, because some people don't pick up on inferred, especially if we got, young, dumb people watching it.
Well, and this is one of the things though, is like it's with since it's not going to be video based, like, I mean, it will have videos, it will have imagery, like it's all just audio, like that is the storytelling.
Yes. So I have to, if I infer, because I think, in tomorrow he'll send it to the police station, and then he goes back and looks at the little girl he loves with the complete understanding that tomorrow that love will turn into rage, and she'll end up like so many other, because I know how to word it too, where it sounds really good. So I don't know because like I said, we've heard the monotone ones. So I don't know if me doing a spooky voice is going to do anything. I like doing the voice. It's fun, and I think it adds something to it. Also, I like doing voices. I don't know if that's going to turn people off. We will see.
Yeah.
Some people will be like, man, it's the gay. Like, that's what I hate to see. We started like, it's the gay voice. I'm like, let's start 2 channels. We'll do one normal voice.
Same story.
Same fucking story. We'll change up the background a little bit.
Man, if you want to go ham and do twice as much work.
I'll just lighten it up a little bit so YouTube doesn't, fucking recognize it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that and it kind of A/B test it.
That sounds like a lot of work.
No, it's not. It's the same story, and
Twice.
I'll lighten up the back. No, it's not read twice. Oh well, it's read twice. They're fucking 4-minute long stories. That I then, like, 1, I'm reading in a spooky voice, 2, drag it out, like, literally, I'm like, I want this to be 10 minutes. so I see 1, and I'm getting, like, close to 9 minutes, and it was very, 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 very spooky. Yeah. I don't know what scary voice I'm going to do yet. I can't just like bust into them right now.
No, I think there will be a time and like I think the narrated voice is one thing, and then doing like I mean I don't like the monotone. Like I would not listen.
Jesus, there's no emotion in it though. Imagine you're read the spookiest thing, and also look, Chills does that one voice, hugely popular. And if people can sit through this right here, then I assume my scary voice is not going to dissuade them.
My daughter watches some guy that does like animal stuff, and he sounds like that. I'm like, why do you have to like? Not everything has to be like enunciated with like that weird flowing.
At the
I'm like,
end,
stop doing that.
why do you do this? I did a skit back in the day where he was like hitting on a girl, and he was like, I just want to feel your nipple in my mouth and rub my tongue around your areola. How would that make you feel? And just, she's like, can you say it in like one sentence? He's like, I physically can't. I hit my head when I was 4. He's like, oh, no, I feel like a dick.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, this has been a great episode of MADHD. Also, we feel like we're getting everything figured out with the Patreon. We feel pretty confident that now you get everything that you love in one place. You get the bonus episodes, which after 2-hour-long episode, do you really want to fucking hear more of this? Probably not. All right.
We'll make the bonus episodes 10 minutes.
Yeah, just fine. Oh, thank you guys. We'll still fit in all the action-packed content, but Mike can just talk faster in it. If you guys, I don't know what to say now. If you guys want to join us on the Reddit, it is MADHD. There we talk about other stuff. You can tell us if something is wrong with the Patreon. You can say, hey, will you talk about this? And chances are we might not talk about it. We might talk about it. Who knows? What else do we need to promote? I think that's...
Labor Llama.
Yes, Labor Llama. Oh, my God. Yes, if you are a hardworking man or you know a hardworking man.
Woman. Look, it
is unisex. It does say men's clothing on the website. But, look, ladies can wear it too, and you will look good in it, all right? No matter what you look like, you are going to look like a beautiful sunset. Guys too. Look, guys can't get called sunsets because they'll be like, oh, you can't call a guy beautiful. Listen, brother, you are beautiful.
But you know, like when a woman wears like just a hoodie, and so like it's a little longer, but you can see. Like,
oh yeah, you got the bottom of the butt cheeks, bro.
Does that look cute on guys? Like, can I walk around my house?
Right. Like I'm not doing that. Look, I got a Hank Hill ass and it connects to my back, and my wife loves it. Like she'll squeeze it all the time. She's like, look at that little butt. I'm like, yeah, it's so far in because my pecker's fucking drawing it in while I wait. Yeah, she's pulling it in and won't fucking fall out because I ain't got a little pecker. All right, guys, listen, we will see you next time, and we love all of you.
Later.